Hello and welcome to the stream that answers the question why we need to get arrested. Hello, people of Twitch and YouTube, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs. We have a nice show today. Also, I did forget to start the lights again. How am I a streamer, guys? Can't even remember to do this. And so why do they have individual buttons? Finally, you can see me. Jesus. Hello. Oh, finally, yeah. Do I look whitewashed to you guys? Do I look whitewashed? I think I do. What if you press all buttons at the same time? I wish. I look yellow because of the sun right now. When the sun goes down, I'll be back to normal. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, what are we doing? We're doing a few things. I am tired. I am very tired today. So much background discussions going on here and there. I swear, do I look clean to you? I try to arrange shit out in my hair. I'm still behind. You ain't beating the jaundice allegations? No, I am not. I might be. I swear the amount of ADHD meds I have to take with a lot of caffeine, my liver may be failing. You never know. If I just go blank sometimes where I am like not replying, not doing anything to anyone, I just assume I'm dead. I am pretty sure a few people would be happy. What? Sorry. Anyway, so am I in the inheritance? Yes, you are. I don't know what you get because I have none. I can give you these jaundiced lights so you can look jaundiced as well. You do realize that even my computer is not entirely owned by me. Yeah, you benefit by looking jaundiced. I can give you my gym membership. I've been working out. Maybe you want to. Gets a crate of Red Bull, lol. No. Red Bull is on BDS. Red Bull is on BDS. He gets a crate of Banger Easy Boost Bele or something. I don't know what this is. Jesus, I've never read the actual name, by the way. I just call it cat. Your favorite trap drink, Banger Easy Boost. I should really get the what's the advertisement for this, because I drink this so fucking much. Someone call them. Like every single stream I have this on anyway. Let me just like at them like, hey, do you want to sponsor me? I give you free sponsorships anyway. Hold on, let me just. Are they on? Can someone check if the Banger shit is on Twitch? Sorry, Twitter. Like the company, Bale, whatever that is. It sounds Brazilian. I have no idea what it sounds like. I can barely read the title. I'm not even joking. I have no idea how to read this. It's in Beliala. Hold on. Trap drink. It's not about Polish. It is quite literally about like they have this font here. I can read Polish. That's the font is the problem. I just know it as cat because I call it cat. Because there's a cheetah on it. There is no, like, what am I supposed to Google here? This is like the hardest form of "Are you a human?" Read this sentence and write it down. Name. So Baal Eila. Like, Jesus, where is this? Oh, found it. Found it. So the Ball Yala. The name is Ball Yala. What the fuck? Ball Yala. Yeah, yeah. Is it Irish? Is it Irish? Boliala? Because it's a G. What? Oh my god. Hold on. These guys need to. I don't care. Like, I fucking swear I'm an honorary Irish. I should be sponsored by these guys. I don't care. It's in County Clare. Jesus. No, no, no. These guys have to sponsor me now. I don't care. There's a silly joke where a person goes to a dock and the dock and the FOC to test eyes asks them to read a random alphabet and the wall and asks them, can you read? Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have seen the. It's a person that's my friend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. But that's a Russian. Polish, the guy won't be able to read it. I can assure you as much. Where's this? Poland. The fuck? Hold on. Where is this? Yeah, I need to. I'm actually checking. Is the painting behind you? This one or that one? The lady or the Bela Ella? It's a record label. It's a record label. The red one. Oh, the one behind me. I have no idea. That's just a lady. It came with the house. So sorry for that. Yeah, I know. Like, see, there is a whole thing behind it. I'm not going to say what it is. Where is this? No, this is Jesus. This is Tiger. I don't really drink Tiger. Wait, when you inevitably pass away, I get a crate of ball. Yeah, you get a crate of ball yella. I'll make sure to put it in my will that whoever is taking over how much ever I have, they get you a crate of ball yella. This tastes like tea that has a lot of. No, it's not alcoholic. I don't drink. This is just like a basic as energy drink, but that doesn't taste like an energy drink. It is quite decent. Nah. Don't worry. I'm not going to tell you like, hey, you should be drinking at this point anyway, because I'm pretty sure I'm dying before you become 18. Hold on, where is this? Oh, jeez. I'm not even joking. I'm actually looking. It has everything. Yes, it has taurine. That's 4 years from now. Yeah, I'm probably not. Okay. I had decided as a child, I'm not living past 30. I'm already 30 this year. So I'm just like, maybe not. We'll see. Oh. Where is this Boliella? Oh. Okay. Okay, I get this. I get it. I ain't paying for no funeral. I'm not asking you. I don't want one. My funeral is by sea. I had already made plans for it. Throw me on a ship, leave me out to sea, or just drop me in water. Like, on sea funerals are very much allowed, legal, and can be done anywhere. Non-spam is no longer. Wait, what if I were to put you in a pool? No. Pool doesn't work. I legitimately want. I want a funeral at sea. I'm not kidding. This ain't gonna be a funeral. Government will throw our bodies in Arabian Sea. Probably. They do that to Bangladeshi people. Feel strong, man. Yeah. You know, the funny part is I can't exactly see the ETV, 7TV thingies. I have to open it on the side if I have to. Can you send that again? Like, yeah, I have to see it on the side. What if we throw you out of the plane into the sea? Yeah, that should work. But like, why would you spend so much? Just take me on a ship. Everyone would be nice and happy. But seriously, don't bury me in the Indian subcontinent, please. I don't want to be one burnt on the Indian subcontinent. Sea death, please. Let me be with the fishies. Because a plane is cool. You clearly have never been on a decent ship, my friend. Ships are extremely cool. Ships are extremely cool. Hold on, I'm just gonna drop them a text. Perfect. We'll see. I have a Kanyakumari. When I have in Kanya when I was 4. You see, I'm guessing you have been on like tour ships. Planes are okay if they are Airbus and decent provider. No. Planes are like, for me, planes are always the place where I don't get like space to sit. I ain't getting on. Oh yeah, like if you go on a Boeing, it will eat every one of you. It will be all our deaths anyway, not just mine. So it's okay. So like, if you ever been on a research vessel, they are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Like properly decent. Need to change video resolution. Hold on. Let me just try it. My YouTube creator is kind of crying at my ass. Saves money. What about they put you in a crocodile water? How, like, that would just get you, like, what's the word for it? That would just literally just get you like banned, not banned, like what's the fucking word for it? That would just get you like arrested for something or the else, because like it's not allowed. You can't feed crocodiles humans. They don't like it anyway. Guys, can you check YouTube and check if this is working? I may have to restart the stream. Like, I seriously may have to restart the stream. Can you check the stream on YouTube if it's working okay? I'm getting... Please do it fast. What you want to check? No, I'm getting like you need to change. Hold on. You need to change video resolution. The resolution is which is not supported for the configuration. The expected video resolution is 1920. How do you change video resolution? While live in YouTube. Where is this? Okay, hold on. YouTube, Creator Studios. Tatus is sitting behind me. What about the penguins? Which penguins? Pito Pito. What penguins are we talking about here? Fuck the penguins. Hold on. I'm just quickly checking, okay? Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Lives. Like YouTube is great and all, but like the live settings are horrendous. Like seriously. Like absolutely horrendous. I try to get this fixed every time. It's just problematic. What about a Kick, the streaming platform? Fuck no. Like Kick is for people who are right-wing lunatics. I'm not a right-wing lunatic. Am I now? Hold on. Why is my category education? My category is politics. Jesus, is that why? Okay. Fuck. We had to change a lot of shit going on in the background. There's people you want to speak to and try educate. Yes, but it is about like who can find you. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I had banned a person. Can someone check where is YouTube live settings? What about just make short form videos with old Hindi songs with political education? Banned instantly. Like banned instantly. I swear, like that's what the government, that's what we're talking about. Like that's today's topic. Okay. Like seriously, we are talking about today what is one of the greatest signifiers of the government turning. Oh, 5-day streak, Hasra. Thank you for coming. Win, boy, win. What we are talking today is one of the greatest signifiers of an authoritarian state. Pookie, 7 days, win. Absolute lovely. Absolutely lovely. Mm. Yeah, I need to change this somehow and quickly. Pop on dashboard. This needs to be changed quickly. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Okay, I think it's the latency part of it, just that. Can't I change this on live? And YouTube is so shit. Did I export these? Hold on. Can I? No, I can just like. The only option I have here is to end the stream. NIMO kya hai? He's. It's really hard to say. He's a Twitter personality. He's just like a catch-all for now. So like a lot of Twitter accounts have been going mute. Like all of these accounts have been getting slammed. They are being withheld in India. It's not just NIMO. It's like Nehru. It is who was the other guy? Like Jawaharlal Nehru, who as well. There is one other guy are getting withheld in India. Hold on, let me just check. I didn't check more than just Nehru, to be honest with you. Like, yeah. Molitics FB was held. 4 p.m. YouTube was withheld. National Dastak FB page was withheld. Mukesh Mohan has a defamation case. Nehru, Nimo Yadav, and like multiple accounts were withheld. There was also this India guy who was withheld. Yes, I mean, it's an electoral autocracy right now. Can't really help. Forget individual accounts, news organizations are getting banned. Yes, they are also getting banned. Exactly. Organizations with a lot of public backing are getting banned. There's a lot of censoring of the wire shorts. Like a lot of different shorts are getting banned. Like this is like one of the go-tos for fascist organization. Like the first thing they do is curb political dissidents. Hold on, why this like this shirt? The shirt is getting tighter on the neck. And then this is something that needs to be addressed, obviously. And this is something, thankfully, we are quite isolated from, which is decent. Because of the fact that we are live streaming. They can't ban something that hasn't been made yet and hasn't been uploaded yet or vetted yet. There's a good shot once we reach level of popularity within the public. I'm going to stop posting videos at all. Like I will not be posting videos on YouTube at all. This will only just be like, go out and if you want to watch it, you come to the stream. If you don't want to watch it, you don't. That is going to be the case later on, just to self-protect ourselves. Nimo ka to sahi block hua, Brahmin hoke. Bro, who gives a fuck? Dude, the point isn't Nimo. The point is the fact that democracy shouldn't have this. This is not democracy behavior. This is authoritarian regime behavior. To be honest, this is going on for so long. Counts were banned for last 12 years, but scale and speed are unmatched. Either they used to ban like a few handles a week. Now they're banned like hundreds exactly. And more at one time. Yeah, exactly. That is so true. Like earlier, they used to not be wielding so much of laws and then doing it. They used to just be like, oh, we are just going to get our IT cell to report something heavily. But clearly that was not working. Jack Dorsey said like the largest amount of ban requests for X used to come from India, which they never really went forward with. But this government, Elon Musk is like very chummy. So that's probably the deal that they are making. Like we will make sure to keep you in the loop. Hold on, why is this not uploading? Elon free speech must lol. I know, right? Like Elon guy is not for free speech anyway. Like, and people who are like being like, hey, this is amazing news. I'm sorry to disappoint. This is not. Uganda, no, China has better censorship laws than India. Like it is quite surprising, but China has better censorship laws. Like you can still go out and talk about shit. Hey, this is Eleni. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Nice to see you on a Tuesday. Misty Lane. Hey, it's really nice to see you on a Tuesday. The thing is, Ugandan infrastructure is better than India. You should go check. And China has less censorship than India. China won't ban you for something like this. They are not, like, criticizing the government is still a valid thing. For them, like, criticizing CCP is still okay. People don't do that mostly. As a factor, because they're actually like a world leader now. People do understand it. They ban like CIA rhetoric. They don't ban like people crying about LPG. Do you realize like China also has protests for fixing things? Anyway, let's get into the matter quickly, because later we have the discussion with like Aam Aadmi Party people on X, so we will be joining them then. Okay, let's get in the meat of this. So like this started off with, it didn't start off in NIMO Yadav. We are just gonna go to NIMO Yadav. So whatever. Anyway. The Delhi High Court has been informed that the satirical Twitter handle NIMO Yadav has been blocked in India on the orders of the central government after the account was found to be spreading false narratives involving Prime Minister. Yeah, I know, right, Tyler? That is the problem. That is the problem. We are finally getting it. March 18, the document was shared with the court as per petitioner Pratik Sharma, the operator of the X account. The blocking order was seen by Bar and Ben, said that NIMO Yadav contains defamatory posts in which the photographs, videos, and AI manipulated content were used to create controversial posts questioning the government and defaming the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Yeah, I mean, can't help it, Tyler, can't help it. Papaksh has been telling you guys forever he's in danger every time he posts. Yeah, that is what I keep saying. You guys don't listen. That's why the start of this channel is always like how I'm going to go to jail. That is the beginning. That's the catchphrase. Anyway, it also states that spreading such false information may affect public order, leading to internal security threats. That is complete bullshit. That is utterly bullshit. If you actually have looked at NIMO Yadav, he just makes fun of the government. Talks... Why would you go to jail? That's the joke, because India is going absolutely authoritarian. One of the things that we are talking about right now is that they are banning X accounts, YouTube accounts, news channels, and censoring everything that is against the government. So in India as well, it is very easy to do a first information report against someone where you don't even have to provide proof. And because of how Indian constitution, like judiciary system is set up, the process goes in like they actually arrest you first and then try and prove whether you have done some wrong or not. They don't need a reason. So that is the joke, that I will be going to jail because I keep saying, fuck this Modi government. The judges are acting like puppets of the government while they're legally they shouldn't be. And all of this sort. Like, I am left wing. I scream against the government 24/7. So that hence the joke that I will be going to jail, which actually might come true someday. You never know. I'll be fine. Don't worry. You should still follow and keep up. China just shadow bans words online. Yeah, I mean, that they shadow ban words online. Here they are like throwing people in jail. That's why I'm saying like you're fine. They can't even arrest entire building of scammers. Just make sure you have bribe money. No. So they need the scammers. They love the scammers. Scammers are their friends. I am not their friend. So most scamming organizations, this is a take it or leave it information. Like, I'm not going to provide you background proofs on it because I don't have the time right now. We have to be in conversation with like some MLA candidate later. So I'm just going to, this is take it or leave it information. So here the scam organizations actually pay the BJP used to pay the BJP through electoral bonds and through side schemes now. So scamming organizations are perfectly safe in India. If you say something really bad in China, they will disappear you, but usually it's for other reasons. Yeah, exactly. In India, they will just put you in jail, not explain anything. It's the same disappearing. This is what happened with Umar Khalid. But for you to go to jail in China, you have to do something major. In India, they just do it for making fun of the prime minister. Like, and like, this is like China, at least you know you're gonna do it. In India, like the court keeps saying like, no, you have the right to dissent. You have the right to dissent. You can do this, you can do that. But then again, on the other hand, the court is like, we know how to deal with people who abuse the government and abuse the judiciary. Like, okay, so you either have the right to dissent or you don't have the right to dissent. They keep you in a limbo. They lie to you on your face, which is fine. I find it more deplorable than what China does. China is literally like, yeah, it's not allowed. End of story. Because we are a one-party system. We are a system that has one party, will give you buildings that work, will give you housing, like 99% housed individuals, by the way. We will give you lots of different things. We will become a world power. We'll like dictate how governments, other government, we are so powerful, we can literally dictate how other governments run. We will see to it that the US dollar falls because Iran currently is trading in Chinese yuan. And now all you have to do is like praise the government. If not, you can keep quiet. And you can still say like, oh my God, this is not working and we'll come fix it. That is fine in China. In India, they give you none of this. They give you an LPG crisis. They give you basically a lockdown at this point. Your average monthly income keeps dropping with respect to inflation, and actually it keeps dropping. Per capita GDP is dropping. The health of the democracy is dying. The press freedom is dying. All of that is happening, and then you can't also talk about the government. Let me tell you a funny thing. This is real. One Chinese origin man from US went to China to spy on China and get info, so-called Uyghur operation. He didn't find anything and returned to the US, and recently he was deported by ICE back to China. Okay. Oh no, I heard about this. I legitimately heard about this. This was so funny. Like, okay. Come on, bruh. Like, even the Uyghur massacre, that is what you get into the news these days. It seems to be so overblown with respect to what it was. Like, it is a bad thing. It is a bad thing that what they are doing. Like, it is a terrible thing. They are not genociding. They are not ethnically cleansing. Like, this is far nicer than what Israel or even India does. India with Kashmiris. Like, worse, like top level, that's your Israel. Then is India with Kashmiris, or like, because currently I'm talking to, I don't know, like Sri Lankan genocide of Elam Tamils. Then India with Kashmiris, or you can exchange that. And like, then there is a whole load of other instances. And then there is China with Uyghurs. That is how this level goes. You really can't compare any of this. Like, crying about like, oh my God, Uyghurs are this, Uyghurs are that. Like, you are in a worse condition. Like, you are literally in a worse condition. That is humongously worse. Like, even what America did with the Chinese, right? But Kashmir is integral part of India. See, Kashmir may be the integral part of India, which it is not. Kashmir is an autonomous zone that was dictated as an autonomous zone, that was signed in treaty as an autonomous zone, which treaty was removed without the consent of the people of Kashmir. That is still colonization. But even if you are talking like, okay, but I still believe Kashmir is an integral part of India, fine. Why does the Indian government oppress Kashmiris? Why do we have news that a Kashmiri person was just picked up randomly by the army and murdered? Why does the Indian army go out and rape women? It is a form of oppression because they use it as oppression. What is happening in Kashmir is not normal. Why cannot Kashmiris be accepted as Kashmiris? Why do we always talk about them like they are terrorists? Like they're outsiders, like they need to go. Every single news channel. That is called apartheid. within India, when we are doing the same in Kashmir, which is their homeland, it is called colonization. That's why it is colonial. Even if that were true, why can't they just live with us in India? What? Even if that was true, why can't they just live with us in India? What? Yeah, like Kashmiris in India. Yeah, exactly. They are kicking them, trying to kick them out of everywhere. It would be easier to assimilate. See, Kashmiris are still saying that we are Indians. They take out rallies to tell the public that we are Indians. Don't treat us otherwise. They have been shouting and screaming that they are Indians. They just want the same rights as Indians. They are not getting. Kashmir has the longest internet shutdowns in the world. Kashmir's economy is artificially decimated. Kashmiri people are not allowed to do journalism. When you are a Kashmiri and you are trying to record something, the army comes in, takes away your phones, can even disappear you depending what you recorded. Kashmir may be an integral part of India, quote unquote, but it is not treated as such. If you treated like, say, Chandigarh as that, people will rise up and say, fuck off government and start a rebellion. Kashmiris are still begging to be Indians. That is their goodness. Like, they still look at us not as oppressors, but as people that they want to be part of. Exactly. They just want to be treated like humans. It's not like they're trying to... yeah, exactly. Kashmiri independence is still a call, don't get me wrong, but Kashmiri independence comes from the continuous oppression of Kashmir that is happening for the past so many fucking years. See, the problem is when people of India claim that Kashmir needs to shut down, we are going to bring peace to Kashmir, Kashmir is an integral part of India, they are not talking about the people of Kashmir. They're not talking about Kashmiris. They're talking about the land. That's it, period. By definition, that is colonial expansion. They don't care about the natives over there. They want to move in over there. They want to replace the population because they blame everything on them. And even if they did, can you blame? I know exactly. Like, I am full on for keeping people, Kashmiris, and giving them independence if they wanted. Man, they did that in Punjab and Congress destroyed them. Punjab has more history of separatists. No. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? No Punjabi is coming out here and being like, oh, I want independence, or we are not being racist towards Punjabis, or Punjab is still an integral part of India. What are you talking about? They did it in Punjab, it worked. What the hell are you talking about? Highest army placements are from Punjab and Haryana. You don't realize that? Then there is Maharashtra. You know which kind of people that don't get into the army to protect the nation? RSS men that preach that we need to wipe away everyone in Kashmir. It's because every state in India has a different language culture, and the government will choose one day that your culture language is the one they want to destroy next. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's just get back to the topic. We have a discussion in 30 minutes. What the fuck am I doing? Do you know how many people were killed in Kashmir by the Indian army? How many women were raped by the Indian army? Do you know the atrocities the Indian army has committed, and you're crying about Khalistanis, which is a separatist movement, which is called a terrorist organization? You know, the RSS has been on record found, like there are whistleblowers who say the RSS is plans and does plan to do bombings all across India to sow hatred against Muslims and bomb who? Other Hindus. You want to really talk about the Khalistani movement without talking about the RSS movement? Do you see the bigger terrorist in India? Do you see the bigger terrorist in India? Yes or no? The bigger terrorist isn't the Khalistanis. The movement is literally in Canada. You want to talk about the movement of RSS, which is a literal terrorist organization? You more suffered in Punjab, you talk about them because they are not Muslims. Please research. Okay. Okay, we'll talk about them as well. Fuck the Congress. I don't give a fuck. The point here is that currently there is something already going on. Literally, there's something already going on. The continuous oppression of Kashmiris is going on right now. The people are being disappeared right now. Today, there are people currently being tortured by the Indian army in Kashmir over shit like, we thought you were a terrorist. Their dead bodies are literally dropped from trucks in front of their villages and left. You really talking about the Khalistani movement that is in Canada, not even in Punjab. You wanna talk about who supplies drugs to Punjab? The fucking politicians. Where do the drugs come from? Fucking Gujarat. The fuck you talking to me about like, oh, Punjabi suffered more. This is not like a suffering Olympics. There are people suffering right now. There are people who have died in Punjab, have died before. But there are people suffering right now. Yeah, Adani Port, exactly. Do you give a shit about the people suffering right now? Also, I give a shit about Punjabis a lot more than do. I was working with Punjabi, not immigrants, refugees from Pakistan. They are Punjabis too. You do realize I've eaten with them, I've cooked for them, I've eaten the food that they have provided. They're very nice and very giving, even while being fucking refugees. Don't talk to me like, oh, I only talk to Muslims. I fucking don't. My ability to care for people is more than just my religion, my language, even if I can understand them. I am not a Muslim. I don't know. I am not a Muslim. I don't have to be to give a shit about people. I don't care about religion. Punjabi people, that is Sikhs, are amazing people just like, exactly. Everyone is an amazing fucking person other than when they're a fucking conservative ass chat. Also, Tyler, I think you have been here long enough for you to understand that you can go check me out on Twitter. You don't have to ask me like, are you Muslim? I am not. It is very well there everywhere. My name is stuck up everywhere. People come here and ask me that like it is a fucking secret. Just go on my fucking Twitter. Then come here and yap about like, oh, are you Muslim? Are you Sikh? Why do you always talk about Muslims? Because they are in a fucking oppressive country. There is an apartheid going on right here in India. I can't see anyone being targeted by an apartheid state and not talk about it. At least you can go out and actually read the fucking material and then come back here to chirp. Because if you are not even ready to read about what is happening, stop chirping. Because you have no idea what you're talking about. WhatsApp forwards are never going to give you the information that you actually require to make a correct assessment of this situation. Do people lives do not matter to you? Do lives of people do not matter to you? Do the suffering of children do not matter to you? There was a guy that was tied to in front of a fucking car, a militarized car, and driven around. Do you not realize that? Do you not realize the absolute horror and oppression from this system? They removed Article 370 by saying that, oh, we are going to bring peace. And they keep going back to the government and pleading like, we need more time. There is no peace. The situation is worse than ever. The fuck? Have some shame. And on top of this, this is not new, by the way. The Kashmiri media has been, it was awesome to move. Tyler, I fucking swear to you, awesome to move, protect themselves, storm pelters. They were in an armored car. Armored car. You do realize that they have gear. They have armor. What protection are you talking about? Next time, what you like? They had breeze on their face, so they made a wall of children. Anyway, the documents for before X just Purushant Kumar Kaurav, who is hearing the plea, filed the Sharma seeking protection of the government's blocking order, the Sharma case, again, so like NIMO was blocked, obviously. X actually came out and like should the center should reconsider disproportionate order to block 12 user accounts. Like, imagine a situation, Elon Musk is siding with like the left wing, Elon Musk organization. X Corp has asked the central government to review the order directing block 12 Twitter accounts, including parody account Dr. NIMO, calling for the block. On order, X wrote an objection letter to the Union Minister of Electronics and Information, saying that the blocking order issued on March 8 fails to comply with Section 69A of the Information Technologies Act, which now they're trying to change. The letter has been disclosed in an affidavit filed by X before, again, the Purushinder Kaurav, in the petition filed by Pratik Sharma. Okay. Oh, this is the same thing. In the present case, the blocking of an X account as a whole does not satisfy the criteria in paragraph 3, above which, if he cares about Punjab, he would realize one way to help them would be stop the genocide in Kashmir, because always, see, he doesn't give a shit about Punjabis. He's here to basically tell us about how everyone is evil other than Hindus. Like, tomorrow's Hindus will start like openly genociding people and he'll be here defending them. That is what he's here for. The caption blocking order was excessive and disproportionately restricted to account holders' rights, especially as the account holder will be unable to use X in India permanently and without being granted an opportunity to hearing in this regard. Ravi, just about the trans, I was wondering why he didn't speak up, as he was one of the first ally in India. I have no idea. I have literally no idea why this is so much of a delay. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just feel like most of these people don't care sometimes. Like, all respect to Ravish, it's way too late. It is way too late because the thing was tabled. The moment it was stable, the moment it was shown at the Lok Sabha, it was already too late. That's what I keep telling people. They don't, people have hope that the government is going to function in the way they think it will. It is not. I don't know where this hope comes from. Like, the government has shown multiple times they do not care about the rules. They do not care about discussions or people's lives. Like, maybe my assessment is wrong that these people don't care, or maybe it's just like all of the YouTubers, all of the news people, they just like feel like, oh, the government is just there for them. Like, the government will change sometime eventually. Maybe that's what they think about. I'm not sure. While reserving our right to challenge the order, in part, the lawfulness of the blocking order of the court application of the law sites within X platform. Ravish cares? No, I understand Ravish cares. Yes, no, I understand Ravish cares. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying maybe they have just a lot of faith in the system. Maybe he just has a faith in the system, which I do not. Like, I don't believe the system is the same system. It is stoicism. Basically, there are people suffering in Africa. It is not even that. It is not even that. It is literally like what Zionists do with Israel. That is one-to-one what this is. I am not joking. This is like the Indian right wing. Like, I'm pretty sure Tyler is going to be here 5 years from now while we are in an active genocide of Muslims and defend the Hindus. That is what it is. The system is fucking him up as well. Let me be clear. The system is fucking him up as well. He just thinks that he can jack the system in his way. Oppression somewhere else means oppression nowhere else. Yeah, exactly. But like, this is not that idea. See, Sanghis want to oppress the person in front of them. That's why they are like, oh, we are going to excuse ourselves from doing it. We are not talking to people here that are like neutral. Like, for example, in America, a lot of people are quote unquote neutral. Like their tax dollars are going to bombing Gazans, which is true. But they are not directly involved. A lot of people in India are directly involved. This is like, imagine me talking to people here, like someone talking to Israelis that, hey, don't do that. That is the scenario here. At least Americans are talking to people who are not directly involved. They are not directly part of the IDF. With Indian advocacy, imagine if they are directly part of the IDF. They are responsible for the oppression. They are responsible for being like, I don't want to say the words, to be honest. I'll get blocked here. Responsible for raping individuals, responsible for oppression, responsible for killing people. That is the situation here. So when Tyler comes in here saying like, oh no, but have you thought of this? Are you a Muslim? Are you here? Are you there? That is his way of distracting, let's say, from his own crimes. Hey Radhika, how you doing? America really are only evil because we tactfully concede. Yes, sure, agreed. Like America is never directly involved unless when it comes to fighting for Israel with boots on the ground. But I'm specifically talking about like the oppression experienced by Gazans and who is a first-hand person doing it. Like this is the same scenario. In India, Indians who are Sanghis are IDF. Think of them as the IDF. And the job is to talk to the IDF to tell them to fucking stand down. To tell them that they are getting fucked over just as much. Advocates Virendra Grover, Nakul Japier petitioners. So by the way, this is not new, by the way. This has been happening from a very long time before. Like it started with the broadcast. No, not even broadcasting, Will. Jesus. It started with the draft amendments in IT rules in 2021. I'm just going to move forward because the audio is horrendous.
21. They were undemocratic, unconstitutional, and very, very controversial. They've been challenged by at least of 2021. They were undemocratic, unconstitutional, and like very,
this is bad, and this is before. Hey.
They've been challenged by at least 17 petitioners.
Sorry, how many petitioners?
17 petitioners.
That's a lot of petitioners.
Yeah, that's a lot of petitioners.
Okay, he's joking a lot, and
many citizens like you and me, even WhatsApp LLC sued the government to challenge the constitutional validity of these rules. Two high courts, being Bombay and Madras, even stayed the operation of some parts of the rules where the government had appointed itself as the final deciding authority on what kind of news content gets to stay on the internet. Can you imagine that? The government dictating what news you can or cannot see on your Instagram or Twitter or wherever. Sounds a little bit like it's out of a George Orwell novel, but it could be our scary reality because the government is trying to do the exact same thing with social media now.
Well, when life gives you lemons.
You think I'm being dramatic? Fine. Here's what the Madras High Court said, and I will quote.
Jesus, get to the fucking
media
point,
by the government may rob the media of its independence, and the fourth pillar of democracy may not at all be there. That's not me, that's the Madras High Court. And that's the exact terrifying problem with the proposed amendment. To re-emphasize, the government now wants to be the final authority on social media speech. How does it plan to do that exactly? It wants to set up a grievance appellate committee to sit on top of all social media platforms, super contradictory to your right to free speech.
So they try to do this again with the broadcasting bill, by the way. This is something different.
Videos, Instagram posts.
So everything else didn't happen, whatever they're trying to do. This is what they proposed.
Or Twitter threads. 52% of Indians get their news, information, and even infotainment online. If you too are one of them, then you should know that a lot of this is going to change. Content by these digital creators such as Dhruv Rathi, Ravish Kumar and Bear Biceps is going to be under scrutiny because the latest draft of the new broadcast bill indicates that it is going to count such individuals as digital news broadcasters. There's all this and much more in the second draft of the broadcast bill, which was released to selective stakeholders in July. The first draft was released in November 2023 and caused a lot of confusion over who it applies to and what the code of conduct would be. The second draft tries to answer some of these questions, although quite vaguely. Besides the actual content of the bill, which we will discuss in detail, the manner in which this draft bill has been floated has raised concerns. While the first draft was published for public consultation and feedback, this draft has only been shared with select broadcasters and associations in an arbitrary manner. In fact, the very stakeholders that changes in the bill now extend to have been left out of the consultation process: digital creators. Each copy of the draft has also been marked with the organization's identifier so that if it is leaked, it can be traced back to them. Too much secrecy, no? Now, this draft has raised a lot more than just eyebrows. Civil society groups, digital news associations, and individual YouTubers have reached out to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting with their concerns that this could lead to censorship. Why? What are their concerns? And what are the provisions in this bill that has got them so worried? Let's get into it.
You also have the problem of apathy and tolerance in America. Yes, you do. But okay, I feel more hopeful for America. I'm going to be very clear. I feel a lot more hopeful for America. Americans have shown that while they do have the apathy required to ignore everything, especially within the MAGA crowd, they have also shown resistance. They have also shown that they can come out, move the masses into the right direction with or without the Democratic Party or any politician. They have the ability to self-start and actually recognize problems and then talk against it. Indians, on the other hand, have forgotten all of that. We did used to have it. That's how we won our independence from the British. But when the British went away, BJP just took over, killed the fervor. RSS took over, killed the fervor. Congress is also not very blameless in this scenario. Today, Savanna friend Sanjukta Basu was speaking shit about trans. Have you noticed Radhika's silence on this? Yes, Radhika... No, sorry, Ruchika's silence. I'm so fucking sorry, Radhika. Ruchika is a TERF. Ruchika is a TERF. Like, she's a trans exclusionary radical feminist. Sanjukta Basu as well. They are the epitome of Savarna feminists and what it means to be a Savarna feminist. By the way, Ellen, in white terms, they are white feminists who are exclusionary to trans and exclusionary to Ruchika Sharma. The Dr. Ruchika Sharma, historian. She's a TERF. She's also a white imperialist. So, like for Ellen, this is like when white women say that feminism belongs to them and not to black or brown women or not to trans women or anyone else. I mean, fine peanut. I have no idea what your views were before this, so I don't know. Yeah, but like she has really come out as an imperialist, like complete support for the Iranian invasion. Yes, affluent white female urban liberals. Yes, that is her. But in India, we call them Savarna feminists. Like Sanatani feminists, you can also call them. Like women only of upper caste kind of matter. Everyone else feminism is out of shit. That is what they think at this point. Like I'm calling it, like she either, like Ruchika Sharma ends up as a politician. I can guarantee you as much. Like I'm calling it right now. She either goes to the BJP and if not BJP, similar party. Like a similar Hindutva party, whichever it might be. Like an allied party, let's say, to the BJP. She's not against anything that the BJP technically does, as long as her Savarna feminist cult is happy. And like one of the reasons why they are so quiet, she's gonna end up Indian's Christinom. Yes, maybe. Like I would have said she's going to end up like Bobar. What was her name? Bobar. Lauren Boebert, yeah. She might end up like Lauren Boebert, to be honest. But like, okay, let me like, with all due respect, she's smarter, I would say, and she's like more educated than both Boebert and Noam. Indian mainstream feminism is a Savarna feminism. It only advocates rights for Savarna women to be able to exploit marginalized as much as Savarna men can. Thus, it cannot hold up to the right intent of suppressing women. What? Right-wing intent. Oh. No, yeah, I agree it doesn't hold up to the right-wing intent of suppressing women. But like Lauren Boebert is also, and Kristi Noem are also feminists. There are still feminists within MAGA. There are women for MAGA are technically feminists. Like, it is, yes, it is about controlling bodies, but kind of believe like this is a bit much worse than that. This is about like their legal right to oppress women, other women. Like, this is like the situation in apartheid Africa. Apartheid Africa, there was a women's movement. There was a white women's freedom movement, suffrage, but they would still keep black women out of it. That is a very similar situation in my thinking, at least. Ruchika is supporting Basu. Yes, Ruchika is supporting Basu in everything. Like, Basu was dying with like her Twitter following, by the way. Ruchika came in for the save. Like, seriously. Like, she was dying on Twitter. Yeah, but like control, like for them, it's not even about controlling bodies. Bodies are already controlled. They don't care, I don't suppose. They don't care unless it's a white woman. It's like when MAGA women say, like, abortion should be illegal, just not for me. Like, Texas has the highest amount of abortions within white women. But they are the first ones to be against abortions for women. This is the same situation because it's like all feminism is fine above a certain class. Not for black women, not for brown women, just for white women, even white women that are above a certain level. Forcing women in reproductive roles and just like making babies being like total traditional female jobs. Yeah. No, these guys are against all of this. Like on paper, these guys are against women being in the reproductive roles. These are against making babies like the only traditional female jobs, which I completely agree to, which is which drew me into like looking into Ruchika Sharma as well. The issue here is that they don't just stop there. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Hi, I'm sorry. Could you text me? I'm currently on live. Like, I'm live right now in front of an audience. Sorry. Guys, this is the only place where I take phone calls from people in interviews that we are part of. So directly. When so this is like they'll be against traditional female roles. They'll be against like forcing, like taking away reproductive rights from women, but they'll also be against like forcing like Dalit women or oppressing Dalit women into these roles, into traditional familial roles. They'll force Muslim women from their right to choose, saying like, oh, a hijab is oppressive, so even if you choose to wear a hijab, it is not allowed. Like Savarna authoritarianism, where it is my idea of what feminism should be forced upon everyone, irrespective of your class, your caste, your whatever, or what you even feel. Like, personally speaking, I couldn't give two shits if a woman is wearing a niqab or a hijab if she chooses to. I had a friend who just liked it. So she would like design her hijab and put designer wear on it. She wasn't doing it for literally like a religious reason or anything, because her parents were like, if you want to wear it, you can wear it. If you don't want to wear it, you don't wear it. She didn't wear it some days. It was her choice. But if you show it to a person like Sharma, she'll be like, no, hijab should be banned irrespective of whether a choice is there or not. I don't think hijab is oppressing. Burqa maybe. Yes, Yeah, hijabs are not oppressive. Burqas, I don't know. See, that's the point. I don't really care what your choice is. Like, I am someone who would always default to, do you want to wear it? Yes or no? Yes, then I don't care. No, then I don't care. Are you forcing it on someone? Yes, then I care. Are you not forcing it on anyone? Just keep it to yourself? Fine, I don't care. That is the kind of shit I'm on. Like, maybe I'm naive. Maybe Ruchika Sharma knows so much better than me on this topic that she's like, oh, we have to have an authoritarian state and police people's dresses while not addressing the systematic issues within even her own argument. Maybe she just knows better than me. What can I say? When RG car case happened and women were understandably protesting, there was a Dalit women organization which wanted to participate and they were told to leave. What the fuck? Yeah, that's Indian feminism. No, that's Savarna feminism. Like, there's a difference there. That's Savarna feminism to a T. Hold on, let me just reply here. Hold on. Let me send a link, guys. Give me a second. This is starting soon. We'll get back to the topic after this. But where is this? Rules for thee, for not for me. Yeah, exactly. I would say oppression. I know, and obviously, but it is Savarna feminism which dominates, and just because Savarna feminism dominates the space doesn't mean every Indian feminism is Savarna feminism. If we paint everything with broad strokes, any form of positive movement towards the right place is going to be painted as a broad stroke and disregarded. No, not like, I'm not just talking about you here. I'm just explaining at least my outlook from it. While, like, you can't call it Indian feminism. Indian feminism is a lot of things. Indian feminists are people like, for example, Radhika here. She's on YouTube. She's an Indian feminist. Now, I'm not going to compare her to a Savarna feminist, for God's sake. Bliss is a feminist. I'm not going to compare her to a Savarna. They are not. Hell, I'm a feminist. I'm not a Savarna feminist. I'm not sure if I can say that if you ask Ruchika Sharma. So I don't know. Hold on, where is this? I need to send this. We need to begin the thingy. If they start quickly, I fucking swear. Just to clarify, I'm upper caste. Again, who cares? I'm still not calling you Savarna feminist. Savarna feminist is not about being upper caste. I mean, does that make sense? I'm a feminist, I see your point. What I was trying to critique is what I consider and accept as the default. Yeah, no, I mean, I get your point. I'm just like, the moment we start thinking of defaults, it becomes, there is no space for anything else to come up. Feminism is not an edge case. They have different sects, and like, depending on the time you're living in, the sect can go up and down. But neither of it is an edge case. Like, if you consider things as an edge case, like, it would end up like you're disregarding at the end of the day. That is what I mean. Hold on. I'm still wondering when this is actually starting, because I need to switch up my settings. See, we're talking to like people from Aam Aadmi Party. They have a space going on and they were talking about transgender rights. They asked me to become a speaker over there and get a few people as well. So I'm just like, fine, whatever. I'll agree to this. Not the biggest fan here. Let me just be very clear about that. Which state? I'm not sure. Like, they have a, like, the Kerala elections are happening, so they have a Kerala candidate. So we are basically talking about like talking to the Kerala candidate and like discussing what to do better, what to do. Like, it is just that. This is like an open discussion going on. They invited me, so I'm like, okay, good point to me screaming at people. So it's not like I have ever shied from screaming at people about things that I believe in. So let's see what happens. I'm hoping not to lose my temper at them. Like, I'm really hoping not to lose my temper at them, which has happened more than once, surprisingly, on Spaces. Kinda don't feel very nice about what they're actually getting at, but we will see how things go. The shit hasn't started yet. They're trying to trend this AAP slams trans bill kind of shit. Yeah, I'm not tweeting that. Like, this is what they're trying here. Yeah, turf baby. Yeah, we have a lot of turf babies. Upper caste should be named oppressor caste, sure. Like, is this setup fine for you? Like, should I change this setup? Like, I'm literally still waiting for them to fucking start. I don't know where the fuck are they. Like, seriously, where are these guys? Oh, it's still 4 minutes. Okay. It's still 4 minutes, guys. It's still 4 minutes. It is just audio and my face. It's a YouTube space. We are going to hear from... Oh, this is not... Okay. We are going to hear from one of the activists. Her name is Kali. Actually, she has a bigger, longer name, which I'm an idiot to never memorize it. Let me just quickly check. She actually told me. We are also going to hear from Muskan. She was here before on the stream, actually. She was the first interview we did with respect to the transgender bill that happened. So let's see. I'm still fucking waiting. Maybe I can reduce the scale of this. Okay, let's check. Okay, let's just go back. We can come back to this later, okay?
The broadcast services
See, I'm just worried about like dead air, and I don't think like if they start soon,
Regulation Bill 2024 aims to replace the 3-decade-old Cable Television Networks Regulation Act and also significantly widen its scope. Here's what it precisely says. A digital news broadcaster or publisher of news and current affairs content is defined in the bill as any person who broadcasts news and current affairs programs through an online paper, news portal, website, social media intermediary, or other similar medium as part of a systematic business, professional, or commercial activity, but excluding replica e-papers. People like Ravish Kumar, Dhruv Rathi, Faye D'Souza, and even Ranveer Alavadia will be potentially considered digital news broadcasters now, which means they have to follow the program code and the advertisement code. And what is this code exactly? No one knows yet, because it is not yet prescribed. But the program code of the Cable Television Act offers some hints. Provisions in this code say that programs should not contain anything that could promote anti-national attitudes or affect the integrity of the nation. Again, pretty vague. In fact, this 46-page draft is so vague that the sentence "as may be prescribed" appears 40
broadcast will be redacted, right? Or is this just put on pause? So this is was redacted. This is just giving like a background on what is happening, because there has been a new bill here. Like, where is the goddamn amendment? So the amendment that was mentioned here, which is like very new. This is basically the broadcast bill on steroids.
42 times.
So I just figured it is better to remember that they have been trying this for a very long time.
42 times. Now, what is considered a program according to the bill? Hold your breath. Newly received or noteworthy textual, audio, visual or audiovisual programs
or live programs including analysis about recent events primarily or socio-political, economic or cultural nature, any program transmitted or retransmitted by the context, purpose, import and meaning of such program implies so.
Phew. Another significant change from the first version of the bill is that an
Okay, hey. We are starting with the thing. Where is this? Hi, Indian Experience. Just on time. Just in time. What is happening here? Can you hear this?
we need to go back to where this all began. It's 2014. The Supreme Court delivers what becomes known as the Nalsa judgment,
Okay, can
a
you hear it
landmark
now?
ruling that recognizes transgender persons as a third gender, directs the government to provide reservations and welfare measures, and
Can you hear this
crucially
now?
holds that a person has the right to self-identify their gender. No surgery required, no medical certificate, no government approval. The court said the Constitution guarantees it. That judgment set the stage for legislation, but getting a law passed took 5 more years,
Okay,
and they
perfect.
weren't smooth years. A 2016 version of the bill was met with protest from the transgender
Sorry, shit.
communities
Am
across
I
the
stupid?
country.
I'm stupid. I'm
The
stupid.
core objection, it required a
Would be
district
better if you can
magistrate to
increase the
certify
volume.
whether
If
someone
not,
was
fine.
transgender.
Oh,
Activists
sorry.
said that handed a bureaucrat the power to decide something the Supreme Court had said was a fundamental right. After sustained pressure, the bill was revised. The Transgender Persons Protections of Right Act was finally passed in 2019. It was imperfect.
I can hold
Many
on.
in the community still
Is there
had
space? Yes, it's a
reservations,
space.
but it represented a floor.
I'm
a
going
legal
to
baseline. It
add
defined
a
transgender
game.
persons broadly. Anyone whose gender doesn't match the gender assigned at birth, including trans men, trans women, genderqueer individuals, those with intersex variations, and those with
Is it fine now?
socio-cultural identities like Hijra, Kinnar, Aravani, and Jogta. And it explicitly
Is
said
the volume
under
fine?
Section 4, Part 2, that a
NIMO is not
recognized
coming. This
transgender
is
person
not
has
NIMO.
a
This
right
is
to
me. This is for trans bill.
You want to continue, Sama?
Thank you. Thank you, Jaswant. Let me start. I've given, if you can accept mic request, Neil.
Hi. Could you accept socio-queers and Shwetcha? Socio-queers is Kali. Shwetcha
Neil.
also wanted to speak. Hi, am I audible? I don't think they're audible. Let me just quickly check. I mean his YouTube channel mod. So just
Sama, I would suggest if we could, to bring the topic into a rhythm, could we play some related song? Just a suggestion.
Do we have
Just to warm it up.
related song, Jaswant?
Haha.
Okay, if you have, I would listen. I know.
Anybody have any suggestions? I
Till
mean,
that
just to
time,
warm up,
some people
just to
will
warm
come.
up a little bit the space,
Mhm.
until the few more people join.
Yeah.
am
I
I
think
audible,
I
by the
could
way?
not able to accept the social request. Can you
I think I got it.
are you able
I
to
already got the
accept
request.
their mic request,
Am I audible?
Jaswant? Can you? I'm
Yeah,
not.
social got a speaker.
Yeah. So I think I got the request. Thank you.
I think there is a glitch from my end, and of course,
No,
I'm the
I
most
think
favorite
sorry.
of
I
all the
think
Sangeets.
socio
Let me join again, okay? Just give me
is
1
very low
second.
volume. Yeah, I should be
Am I
audible.
audible now? Am I
No,
audible now?
still very low volume.
Let me see what I can do. Just a second.
Do you have headphones?
Yep. Just connecting to them.
Ah, perfect. I'm sorry. Am I audible and am I clear by voice? There's a lot of background things I have to do to get to this through the screen.
No, you're good. You're good.
Perfect.
Just want to check. Is it any better now? Hello. Is it any better now?
Hi. Yeah.
Yes, it's good.
Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Wonderful. Great.
You're his YouTube channel mod. What? Really? That's cool. Nemo is not here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna switch off from back to my YouTube because you're gonna get me banned on YouTube if you play like odd music like that.
Okay, are you
Live,
posting
yes.
it on the YouTube space?
No, I'm live on YouTube and Twitch. So just tell me if you're going to play copyrighted content. I'll just switch off the mic from my side. because I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
YouTube is very stingy with things like that.
Okay. Okay, sure. I think I'm playing from YouTube only.
Oh, no. So the thing with YouTube is like, if you're playing it on anywhere else, it's fine. If you play it on YouTube, their goddamn, what do you call that? Their AI will detect it in live streams and switch off the stream. That is the issue.
Okay.
Like Twitch, if I was just on Twitch, it would be like perfectly fine. Like perfectly, absolutely fine. It doesn't matter on Twitch.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you.
Anyways.
So we're not playing any music. Is that what
No,
it
you can
is?
play music. Just make sure it's not copyright, or just tell me. I'll switch off the input from my end.
Okay, I see one thing. Raspa, transgender by. You want to mute it until I play the music then?
Sure, yeah, that
From
would
your
be
end?
nice. Then I can talk about
Yeah,
something else with my community here.
Yeah, I just want to bring it like, a little bit more.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
More
Just
people to join us.
just drop me a message when you're done. Okay.
Okay. Drop a message where?
Twitter. Or
okay,
like, yeah, whatever. Just give me some indication, however possible. I'll come in directly then.
Sure.
Guys, we are going back to this for now. They'll just mute DMCA audio for your VOD on Twitch. Exactly. But the thing is that, hey, how you doing, Bracelet Block? The YouTube, because we are also live on YouTube, it is a pain in the ass. It's an absolute pain in the ass. What they'll basically do is they'll just like copyright strike it. Yeah, it is. It is just not for copyright strikes. We were talking about like Indian rape culture. They stopped the stream. Too much rape, I guess, in India. So my stream needed to be stopped. Like they literally killed the stream mid everything. Like, woof, stream gone. It was so fucked up. Anyway, I'm just waiting for them to, like, are they starting? They're literally playing music on YouTube, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prep this until then, because the greatest streamer you can ever have is someone who is absolutely never prepared. Like, where's a good logo? Where's a good logo? Because my screen seems so fucking empty. Hold on. What I'm gonna do is, hold on. I'm gonna go to this. Yes. I'm gonna bring this up. Yes. Gonna put this here. Nice and easy. So it is not too empty. Perfect. Jesus Christ. Knowing as. Perfect. I know, it's a very banger flag. I keep using it. By the way, Indian experience, tell me what it's like to being a mod there. While you're at it. Also, if you have any questions, let me know. I can ask them during the discussion. We are going to have like an app person over here, like an app MLA, like candidate at least. They are not in the government yet. Okay, this works. Should I reduce the size of the messages? Do you want me to reduce the size of the messages? Jesus, I hate waiting like this. I absolutely dislike waiting like this. I can, guys, we can go continue the live if you want. Or do you want me to wait? Yes or no? Do you want me to wait? Or I can continue with the live. That was about like repression of speech because they're taking a bit too long. Yeah, I hate dead air. I absolutely despise dead air. I'm gonna continue the live. Fuck them.
Dhruv Rathi. Anyway, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Another point we'd like to share with you from the draft is that the Information and Broadcasting Ministry may soon issue accessibility guidelines
Maybe till we wait, we can watch Ravish video.
to
No,
make
but we have
sure
to finish
that
this
every
quickly.
person with disability is able to access programs. Broadcasters will be required to take certain mandatory measures such as supplementing video programs with subtitles, translating audio content of videos into sign language, and supplementing video content with audio descriptions. A violation of these guidelines could result in a penalty on the broadcasters. While this is definitely a step in the right direction, it
wasn't a step in the right direction, obviously, as many things go with this government. The issue that happened with this is like they have started phase 2 of this. This is the second time they have tried to amend this, and they're increasing the what's the hand of the government in broadcasting. So because of the amendments in the brief 5 changes, insertion of phrases within existing clauses make data retention obligations under IT rules. So no matter like your data, your right, the whole thing is dead now. There is no your data, your right anymore. Everyone has to keep their data, like every company will have to keep their data irrespective. Your data can never be deleted. That's an obligation. Insertion of a new clause which mandates internal compliance with MIT issued clarification advisory directions, which is basically the broadcasting bill on the side of like X and Facebook and YouTube. These are not anchored to the rule-making powers of IT 2000 and provide uncanalized power to mandate despite stating otherwise. Ministry is getting all the power to dictate what you can or cannot post. If you go against the government, they can just withhold your account. A substitution in the provision that expands applicability of MIB oversight mechanisms in Part 3 of the rules, intermediaries and users who are not publishers, and post-share news and current affairs content online. This oversight mechanism contains a blocking of powers of MIB by the way of Rule 14, Interdepartmental Committee, Rule 15, and procedures for issuing directions to block, and Rule 16, emergency blocking provisions. They can just block you. Like, just block you. That's it. There's nothing more. Replaces complaint grievances matter in relations of IDC examination recommendations. They will not even be asking anything. I think this started.
Neil. I'll ping him 2x again.
I'm here.
Hi Neil.
Hey.
ना थोड़ा उसमें से थोड़ा मोदी जी है, उसको 4 बार पूछो ने ना तो रिप्लाई नहीं करता, भाव देना पड़ता है. I'm just kidding.
I know. नहीं मुझे मोदी जी जरा और बोलो, जरा अच्छी करो, नहीं तो मेरा YouTube बंद हो जाएगा. ट्वीट जिंदगी में बंद नहीं कर पाएंगे, YouTube बंद हो जाएगा. भाई वैसे अमित भाई क्या हाल चाल है? मैकलिन भाई कहाँ हैं? उन्होंने कहा तो वो भी होंगे.
आएंगे मैं पूछता हूँ ग्रुप में.
और भाई साहब
भाई मेरे को इतने कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स मिल रहे हैं ना मेरे डीपी पे, तो थैंक यू बोलना पड़ रहा है.
अमित भाई आई फकिंग स्वेयर मैं वही बोलने वाला था कि डीपी क्या बदल दिया आपने. क्या 7 साल लगे एक डीपी बदलने को? I shouldn't say, but you finally figured out how to change the DP. क्योंकि पहले वाला भी यही, like I remember you had 2 DPs at max. One was with the grey jacket and the other was with the blue shirt, if I'm not wrong. सही बात या नहीं बात?
हाँ समथिंग लाइक दैट. अरे भाई डीपी बदलना जिद्दी नागरिक या फिर बाकी खूबसूरत लोगों का काम है भाई. हम डीपी बदल के क्या करेंगे?
I mean,
hi everyone. Hi Sama.
Anyway, guys, am I audible to you? Is Amit audible to you? People on YouTube, is everything good for you guys too? There is a lot of silent space here. So there's a lot of like.
Sama, can you hear us?
Where is this?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
बताओ जिस
finally.
केस में भी ये बोलना पड़ रहा है. Hello everyone. And sorry, ये glitch है ना, ये हमेशा होता है मेरे साथ. मेरी आवाज आ रही है सबको?
Everything is fine.
Yes,
fine.
yes. But there is some
Okay,
background. It's not clear. It's echoing.
No?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
it fine?
gonna
Yeah, I
edit
mean,
everything
शुरू
out.
कर सकते हैं हम. I think you can start.
Okay, okay, we can start. Hello Neil, and thank you first of all. इतने शॉर्ट नोटिस में आपने बहुत अच्छा मतलब सब अरेंजमेंट वगैरह किया, राइट वॉइसेस को स्पेस के साथ जोड़ा, वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. एंड द आइडिया तो मैं पहले बता दूं कि ये जो है हम लोग ट्रांस जेंडर का जो बिल अभी 2020 पास हुआ है उसके बारे में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. And the reason is we really wanted to understand what changes and is in new changes introduced in new bill and why all the activists are protesting about it. Okay. And the reason is in Punjab, our government recently launched some of the good programs for transgender. Okay, how this will affect in those programs. We are trying to understand it, as well as we have given ticket to one.
Hi, you're completely gone. I can't hear anything whatsoever.
She left the matlab she was like
Okay.
punted out of the space by His Highness Musk. वो आ जाएगी वापस.
Okay. I should say sorry to Musk right now because मैं अभी 5 मिनट पहले उसको गाली दे रहा था. Like I'm gonna scream, I'm Israel high, then everything will be fine. Okay, did it again. Guys, you keep talking. I fucking swear. This is going to take time, I guess. Like spaces चालू होने को time लगता है. Do not fret. This will start eventually. By the time you go like the YouTube stream, that is your job. Jeez, I can't hear my own. Fuck. I swear, like moving this over for you guys is getting bad for me. Where is this fucking space? I swear I'm gonna stop doing spaces. Like there's literally no background here. There's no activity here as well. No, like seriously, guys, chat. It's like I am sitting here alone now. If no one is
काफी
speaking,
सारा
I can keep
silence हो
yapping.
रहा है space में. What is that?
Oh, are we just like waiting to break ice?
No. I can keep yapping if you want. Like, if you're waiting for people,
No.
I can keep yapping. मैं ऐसे भी yapping. I'm on YouTube anyway.
Yeah, let's. While we wait for Sama, right? Neil, maybe you can. Hi, Teresa. Maybe we can get the highlights of the bill from Neil and why it's problematic. Why don't you do that, Neil?
Okay.
If that's all
Yeah.
right, host.
So the bill
Yes,
was.
yes. I think we can start yapping, as Nick said. Meanwhile, I'll figure out with Sama.
Okay, perfect.
You guys continue, please. Yeah,
Perfect. Okay, if you have any questions, just ask me directly. There is a 5-second delay between my speech because it has to go through a lot of spaces. So just excuse me for the 5-minute delay. The bill itself, when it was released, that was a problem because it was tabled within 30 minutes of the Lok Sabha procedure ending. It was pushed through in the front of the lot without any consultation, without even notifying anyone. We already know the bill was presented even without consulting anyone as well. Like, no person from the transgender community was even consulted while the bill was being prepared. No one was given a notice. There's a reason why these communities and transgender community exist, like on a legal and governmental level. They exist, they work there, but they were not consulted, which should have been the case, because they are talking about their rights, their place in like the Indian fabric. Coming to the bill itself, there are multiple issues with the bill. While the NALSA judgment did not provide far-reaching provisions for the transgender community, this bill takes away all of the hard-fought provisions that were there within that judgment. The first is the right of self-affirmation. Self-affirmation is a right that we all have. We all have since our birth. The only people currently in India that do not have are trans people. No one asks you whether you are a man or a woman. They don't ask you when you're writing like an application from, can you prove that you're a man? Do you have a card that says you're a man? No, it is a given. You are trusted, saying your identity is yours, you can give it. Except right now, if you're a trans person. One of the very most hard-fought provisions that was within the NALSA judgment was the idea of self-identification. That you cannot tell a trans person to provide certain documentations that should support their application for the transgender card, for the identity card saying they're transgender. It was, and even then, since the NALSA judgment as well, even though that provision was there, the district magistrate and multiple district magistrates would tell them like, hey, no, you have to come here to me and prove to me that you are trans, even though it was against the law. Earlier, there was still a legal recourse for the people who could take the legal recourse against the officers, but that has been removed. The second point here is the constrainment of what it means to be trans. Trans communities are varied across India. The current bill only considers 4 and has a little bit of here and there about trans women and intersex, which is combines with transgender, which is not always the same thing. The bill basically is trying to make a minority out of an already existing minority. That is a very big issue with the bill. It threatens and to remove the identity of hundreds and thousands of trans people across India and their ability to access healthcare, their ability to access their ability to access HRT, for example, or gender affirming care. Sorry, that is the word I was looking for. The bill also removes any mention of trans men. Now, there's a difference between a trans woman and a trans man. A trans woman is a male to female transition when you're talking about like legal definitions. A trans man is a female to male when it comes to gender identities and sexual identities. The bill doesn't mention trans men at all. Like at all. There is no provisions for that. You can't get your cards. The other point is, I'll give you an example. Now, you need to have multiple testing done to be determined as a trans person in India. The medical documentations now need to be sent from the medical board and you separately to the district magistrate, to which the district magistrate will decide whether to give you your identity or not. Again, this is not required for any straight cis person. Not at all. Only trans. And you would think, why is this scenario present? Like, why is this? Their thing is like, oh, so only the rightful people will gain provisions. But to my knowledge, there have been no provisions whatsoever. Literally none. This also bill says that to get the card, you have to, and some situations, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be enforced by the district magistrates who are already creating problems for the trans community, that you have to go to transition. A lot of trans people and trans individuals are coming from a situation that is not monetarily sufficient even for their survival. For this, there was a PM Yojana that gave them surgeries, HRT, whatever, quote, end quote, free of cost. Think whatever you are within this and the complications that it already has. But now, the Yojana will be completely impossible to access because the Yojana requires the card and the card requires the Yojana to get to it. It's a trans erasure. There are multiple different points within this bill as well which are absolutely horrendous. For one, I'll give you an example. Let's talk about the most prevalent issue within Indian fabric, rape. Raping a trans woman is a punishment of only 2 years. Only 2 years maximum. You can literally get away with rape in India if you're raping a trans woman. This is absolutely unheard of. This is not even to say that the rape is going to be proven or not. This is literally within the bill that if you're a trans woman, you matter less than anyone else. This is absolutely horrendous. The slavery issue is a big thing as well within this bill. If you are someone who has forced someone else into bonded labor, if you are someone who has forced someone else into being a slave for you, if you are doing it to a cis person, it is 10 to 15 years. If you're doing it to a trans person, it is a maximum of 2 years. Whoever the district magistrate or picks, like whichever law applies based on their whim. Amit, you can, please go on.
Nani, I was waiting for your full explanation.
Okay.
And thank you, right? So roughly, and I'd love to hear more details.
Not done. There's more shit.
No, I understand. So roughly, but to capture it in one line, we are basically treating trans people as lesser human beings than heterosexuals, right?
Yeah.
Ghum fir ke baat wahi aati hai, and that's psychopathy.
Yeah, it is
psychopathy.
Right?
So completely.
I'm not even to the worst part of the bill.
Exactly. Please get to it. So I was waiting for my turn. So anyway, finish your thought.
I was just like making this a bit more explainy, but I can just get back to the original. Like the major point also here is, which a lot of people, I fear, like I have said this, like people, like news outlets like News Laundry, The Wire are not focusing on this as much. I do not know why. Within the trans bill, if you're holding, it is illegal to quote end quote coerce a trans person into being trans, which in practice means if you are a person who has helped a trans person at any point for anything, if you are a person who has even held this space, like for example, Aapka Radio, like you're helping trans people, let's say in this scenario, in this situation, which, okay, you are, but like just for argument, and if there is a transphobic parent and they see that the trans woman or trans man is within the space and listening to it, and the homophobic or transphobic parent feels like this is the reason why my child is becoming trans, they can now literally go to the police and everyone here is arrested. Everyone here is arrested. There is no, like, helping a trans person in India has basically become illegal. No matter who you are, you can be a trans person yourself. The trans person that is being helped can be over 18. The trans person can be like a 70-year-old. If anyone within their families, not even within their families, anyone around feels like, oh, helping the trans person is illegal because they're quote unquote being coerced into it, you are basically go to jail. This is the same law that was there for helping slaves during American Revolution, like American apartheid and American slavery in 1740. Literally the same law, quoted nearly the same way. helping a trans person in India is currently completely and utterly illegal. Just talking to them, assisting them, educating them, completely, utterly illegal. And the whim of the FIR that will be registered against you is on the transphobic parents. And on that note, abuse from transphobic parents. Like if you are getting continuously harassed and beaten, and I say that as someone who has been a victim of familial domestic violence, who has been a victim and has gone to the police, and police didn't even help me, to be honest. But that is completely legalized. It is by the words of the person who wrote this bill has said, we will never punish a abusive parent, especially of a trans person. And I read and I quote, क्या होता है मारेंगे तो वो तो उनके मम्मी पापा ही है. End quote. Please go through what they have said against trans individuals. It is
So
horrendous.
here's what. Yeah. Thanks, Neil. I didn't know any of this because I was willfully ignorant of this. मैंने पढ़ा नहीं था. This is shocking, brother. This is shocking yet not surprising, as is the case with many of the things this government has done for a very long time, right? So what I will do is I'll actually attach a ChatGPT summary of the highlights of the bill, of the highlighted psychopathy, right? This is crazy. So so the two things I got here is you're clearly treating trans people as lesser human beings, and you are literally penalizing helping them. This is messed up. I mean, I wouldn't have thought this even from Modi government. And here's what's happening, right, at a broad level. I mean, hopefully most of you will agree, because most people here are sensible and decent people, right? So pehli to baat, clearly they are being dehumanized. And I think for the longest time, as bad as we have had governments in the past, right? For the longest time, whether it be Congress or whether it be, frankly, Atal Bihari Vajpayee government or non-Congress government, right? I think the governments were, for whatever their faults, focused on taking people forward. So they were interested on making society better. This is the first government that is appealing to society's most baser and terrible instinct. So earlier governments का काम था कि समाज में ये खामियां है तो इनको सुधारो, even at the risk of unpopularity. ये सबने किया था. कांग्रेस ने भी किया था, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी गवर्नमेंट ने किया. ये पहला गवर्नमेंट है जो बोल रही है समाज में खामियां है पर ये पॉपुलर है, तो इनको रिअफर्म करो क्योंकि हमको वोट मिलेंगे. दिस इज अ वेरी डार्क पाथ फॉर आवर सोसाइटी टू गो डाउन ऑन. बट एनीवे, दैट्स अ लॉन्गर कॉन्वर्सेशन. सो एक 15 मिनट में मैं जो नील ने हाइलाइट्स मेंशन किए हैं उसका इसी स्पेस में कमेंट्स में जोड़ दूंगा और नेक्स्ट में भी डाल दूंगा. मेरा हो गया. आई डोंट नो हु इज नेक्स्ट भाई. एंड समा प्लीज एक्सेप्ट को-होस्ट इफ यू कैन.
मेरी आवाज आ रही है? I for some reason there's a lot of glitch with my ID right now. But I have a question, Neil. Neil, am I audible to you?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay. So, do international standards for the transgender bill is the same? Like, they have also the same criteria?
No.
Or is it in
This is India specific. Like you're talking about
amended in India?
This is India specific.
Okay.
This is not international anything. Anyway, I think we should hear from the trans community as well. That is here. Switcha wanted to speak something.
Switcha. Yes, Switcha. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we
So,
can.
I think to add to what Neil and Amit ji were speaking, as somebody who's coming out as a trans man during these protests, right? It feels like it's going to affect the golden triangle of freedom of rights. Like, I'm not a law student, but like my freedom to live, express, everything Everything is dependent on me actually being able to call myself however I want. And one funny thing about the definition that I want to point out is that the word gender queer also was there. I understand people spoke about trans men and trans women. More often than not, in this trans conversation, we forget that there are gender non conforming people who sit right in the center of binary discussions of trans men and trans women. And they are the people that are most often ignored because in cis spaces or cishet spaces, they sometimes pass as cishet spaces, but cishet people themselves. But I think of self identification actually gave them the kind of free exist, especially the younger generation that's about under 25. We've seen a lot of influx of gender non conforming people coming out of the streets and protesting. And I really wanted to just make that point. This is not like what I wanted to talk or whatever, but because everybody's talking about trans men and trans women, I wanted to talk about the gender non conforming people also.
I'm so sorry. I missed the point. That's my bad because I had points are written down and I actually just missed it. I suppose that's the problem. I should fix that in myself, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because generally in trans spaces themselves, trans women have led the forefront, right?
Yes.
Without them, there is no foundation to the resistance that's happening right now throughout the country. That must be first accepted. Yes, and then there comes the ignored trans man. Like I'm 34 now, close to 34, and it took me like till I was 32, 33 to realize I'm a trans man. Right. And gender non conforming people का तो बिल्कुल space है ही नहीं, mention ही नहीं होता है because generally cis passing. I understand. Thank you, Neil.
On that topic, I would also like to mention we are seeing like increase of TERFs in India. TERFs are trans exclusionary radical feminists. I hope you have heard of them. Like J.K. Rowling is a big TERF. So just to make the record clear, the suffrage movement itself, the biggest supporters and the earliest supporters of the suffrage movement were trans women. So if you are a TERF, please fuck off. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
See, the thing is, right, and this brings us into an important point that is often ignored in the simplistic world of social media and Twitter. See, bigotry is intersectional. So women can be bad people, right? Even transgenders can be bad people. Men often are. Lower caste can be bad people. So never ever forget that. So like just because, like Neil was saying, just because someone is a feminist does not mean that their solidarity is going to extend to trans women or trans men. So this is very important, not just in the trans context, but in any minority or any oppression context. Okay? Bigotry is very often intersection. So like anyway, Saurabh bhai, आप कुछ कहना चाहते थे फिर प्रकृति के पास
Also,
जाएंगे.
just to be also socio-queers, you can speak if you like. Like you don't have to. Wait.
No, I mean, there were wonderful points being made by all the speakers, so I can wait till the end, or if you would like me to speak now, I can.
You can keep
However
going.
you
This
want
is
to
this
go
is
about
still an
it.
open
Please go
discussion.
ahead.
Okay, okay. So, firstly, thank you to all of you for getting us on the podcast. It means a lot. And I would really like to thank Neil because outside the community, even those who are well read, even those who are smart in the academic spaces, so on and so forth, have not been able to synthesize this bill in the beautiful way that Neil just did. Yes, Neil had missed genderqueer people and so on and so forth, but those are nitty-gritties we can continue to put, and that comes with a lot of community knowledge. But just the ability to assimilate whatever is happening and give a simplified version of what this bill is and what it means, thank you for doing that. Because no matter how much we shout that trans right matters, unless you put it in specific, you give real life examples, people don't get it. So thank you so very much for doing that. And on that note, I think I would like to give a personal example because at this point I feel people assume transgender people are some random folks who are living somewhere. कुछ तो अपना करते रहते हैं, कुछ तो हमको रोड्स पे मिलते रहते हैं, बुली करते रहते हैं, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह, and it kills the empathy in you. So I'll try to keep this short, and please do feel free to interrupt me if you think this goes way longer than what it is supposed to. And yeah, so Amit, do you want to say something, or are you again raising hand to say that you're next?
No, no, no. Finish your thought and then I'll go. Like what I want to say
Okay, sure,
doesn't
sure.
require interrupting you. So please
Okay,
finish
great.
everything you have to say. Then I'll go.
Great. So I'll do one thing, just because, of course, only I can have ownership over only my own story and probably not others. I'll just tell my own story very quickly. I am a 23-year-old trans woman. Uh, my father is in the army. My mother has been in the education sector. I have two other siblings. I was given the, if not elite, one of the best educations our country can give through army public schools. I've been to probably seven army schools. After that, I joined Hyderabad Institute of Technology and Management, where I did a Bachelor's of Technology in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. Now, I didn't bother to pursue that as a career, but that is the education that I have. During my college years, in the very first year, I started Socioqueers, a space to raise voice about marginalized communities in educational institutions, because educational institutions, higher secondary schools, colleges, these are the spaces where minds are shaped, where if you do not build the ability to inquire and think, that will probably never get built again. So that was the purpose I started it. And I took on various roles in the college as well. I ran a Google Developers Club where we used to teach Google technologies. I was in the government, the student government of my college, where we wrote policies sitting with the leadership of the college. And I've been doing all of this work in terms of what can we do to bring more awareness about marginalized communities and educational institutes roughly for 5 years now. But in spite of whatever, so-called A child achievements or good child achievements and the हमारे बच्चे को तो हम शर्मा जी के बच्चे से compare कर सकते हैं achievements I had, in spite of all of those, the morning when I collected my graduation certificate for my BTech, the evening I ran away from home. In spite of all of it, because I knew, as a matter of fact, that the moment I come out as a trans woman, या तो मुझे घर से निकाल दिया जाएगा या तो मुझे घर में बंद कर दिया जाएगा। अगर घर में बंद कर दिया तो मैं अपना इंडिपेंडेंट ना करियर बना पाऊंगी, ना लाइफ बना पाऊंगी, ना कुछ बना पाऊंगी। एंड अगर डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस हो गया तो तब भी कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगी। एंड अगर मेरे टर्म्स के बिना मुझे घर से निकाल दिया फिर तो मुझे भी भीख मांगना पड़ेगा ना, मुझे भी भीख मांगना पड़ेगा, मुझे भी सेक्स वर्क करना पड़ेगा, मुझे भी जो भी अदर ऑल्टरनेटिव्स हैं वो करने पड़ेंगे, because that is the situation of jobs in India for trans people. But thankfully, thanks to the enormous support that I had from the trans communities in Hyderabad, from the activists I know, from the speaking clubs that I'm a part of, which has various advocates, entrepreneurs, uh, ambassadors, and so on and so forth in its ranks as members. Thanks to all of these people, I was able to, before I run away from home, secure a job and then leave, ताकि मेरे घर पे ना, सॉरी, मेरे सर पे छत तो हो, एंड रोटी कपड़ा मकान जो भी होता है वो जैसे जैसे मैं जॉब करूंगी कर लूंगी बोल। Now, might I add that I would be, by all standards, even when I didn't transition and people thought I was a boy, and even post transition, even now as a trans woman, I would be considered one of the most privileged people in this country, with a great education, with great networks, with great support, with the awareness to do what I need to do, what I wish to do, and the ability to do it as well. And probably thanks to God, the strength of character to pull it all out. But even after all of this, I knew at the back of my mind कि ये एक possibility है जो शायद कभी नहीं मिट पाएगी, कि कल को if the entire world turns against me, In spite of them liking me, I might have to resort to sex work and begging. And again, I want to remind you all, I am one of the most privileged people in terms of education and in terms of connections. And this is the question that I had to deal with myself every waking moment when I was trying to plan my exit from the house. And माँ बाप ना मतलब I don't blame them. I know that उनको भी time लग जाता है जो भी होता है but अब I have to take them at face value, right? So on face value they said please never come back home again. So all those social protections, connections, all of that is gone. Tomorrow if something happens to me, it's my onus. Thanks to the community, I'm still surviving. I'm still running my own stuff, doing my work, so on and so forth. बट ये सब ट्रांस पर्सन का रियलिटी नहीं है. गांव में जब आप 6 या 7 साल के होते हो या 11 या 12 साल के होते हो तभी लोग बोलने लगते हैं यार इसमें तो कुछ तो अजीब है. या फिर जब गांव में या सेकेंड ईयर सिटीज में या इवन इन फर्स्ट ईयर सिटीज शादियां होने वाली होती हैं घर में एंड दे नोटिस पर्सन हु इज वेरी फ्लूइड इन देयर एक्सप्रेशन. दे गो ये ना इसकी वजह से हमारा नाक कट जाएगा, इसको निकाल दो, इसको आप घर से निकाल दो फिर हम शादी पक्का कर लेंगे. सो most trans people that you meet will not have all of these educational qualifications, poise, and all of that nonsense because it is honestly nonsense. जब आप रोटी के लिए लड़ रहे होते हैं ना तब आप poisedly प्यार से नहीं मांग सकते हो हक. आप लड़ते हो, आप लोगों को धमकाते हो क्योंकि आपके पास ऑप्शन नहीं होता. एंड दैट इज द रियलिटी ऑफ परहैप्स 90% of the transgender people in India, whether it be trans men, trans women, gender non-binary people, so on and so forth. Now, I don't want to throw in a generalization so large, but this is the instinctive knowledge I have had since the last 5 years of working with the community. Ab, in all of this reality, where people have no social protections, none of it. The only one thing that we had, the only one thing that we had was कि चलो यार पूरी दुनिया हमको मना कर दे, हमारा वजूद मिटा दे, at least legally we can recognize ourselves, at least legally we can try to fight a battle for ourselves, at least legally we can try to find a way to assimilate with society. And that minded has happened after years and years and years and years and years of hard work by trans women, left organizations, feminist organizations, so on and so forth. ये ऐसे किसी not to blame the government but किसी government या administration के empathy की वजह से नहीं हुआ है. ये लड़ लड़ के हुआ है years तक. जो अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं, I mean, even if you think of it in the terms of numbers, Transgender Protection Act came in 2019. हमको आजादी कब मिली थी? 1947. तब से we have not been equal. And even 2019 Transgender Protection Act has some faults in it. But all of us thought, okay, this is a step. At least now I can recognize myself. I have a legal identity. आगे देखेंगे क्या कर सकते हैं, धीरे धीरे steps लेंगे. And now this bill of now, which is an act of 2026, has destroyed it completely. So now, if I have to explain in simple terms, जिन भी लोगों ने मुझे हेल्प किया ना ताकि आज मैं आपसे यहाँ पे बैठ के बात कर रही हूँ, नौकरी कर रही हूँ या और ट्रांस लोगों को या और नॉन ट्रांस लोगों को भी सपोर्ट कर रही हूँ, this wouldn't have happened because all those people would be in jail. And as Neil very rightly pointed out, all of you would also be considered criminals for coercing a trans person. And finally, if I have to just close this conversation because I know I've taken quite some time and I'm so sorry for doing that. Essentially, what we are doing is, जैसा नील ने बताया कि हम स्लेवरी के लॉज वापस ला रहे हैं. हमारे इंडिया में भी ऐसे प्रीवियसली ब्रिटिश एम्पायर की वजह से लॉज थे जिनका नाम है क्रिमिनल ट्राइब्स एक्ट. Telangana has the Telangana Eunuchs Act. Around, I think these are acts made in 1919. All of the language that we have right now, or at least the implication of the new Act of 2026 refers to all of them. So ये ऐसा नहीं है कि नालसा जजमेंट जो 2014 में हुआ था या ट्रांस एक्ट जो 2029 में हुआ था बस उनको धक्का मिल गया है. हम सेंचुरीज पीछे चले गए हैं. We have gone back years back. even before Government of India existed. And finally, to close, we hope that through the continuous fight and community support that all of us have, we will get through it. बट वी ऑल्सो नो कि ये काफी लंबी लड़ाई होने वाली है. हमारे जो immediate queer elders है, they themselves are already in their 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and they don't have energy. And probably by the time we do this, if we don't have support of the rest of the country, maybe मैं भी बुढ़ी हो जाऊंगी, फिर बोलूंगी चलो अब तो मैं अपने आप को ट्रांस बोल सकी. I'd like to just close by saying that one small rays of hope, because we are finally having to cling to small straws in a river, is recently in Ganga Kumari versus State of Rajasthan. The High Court judge in the epilogue, Justice Monga, had written a particular statement, and I hope we get more support from the rest of the judicial system as well, calling, quote, bottom line being, selfhood is not a matter of concession, it is a matter of right. Quote closed. So we are hoping that we can gather support. We are hoping we can do all of that, but we are also trying to be as careful as possible to not jeopardize all the years of work we have done. Thank you so much for your time. And yes, if I've made any errors, please feel free to let me know.
I just have a quick point to make.
Clap, everyone.
Speaking of like a personal story, right, and talking about empathy, like I'm ashamed to say that especially in respect to this transgender bill, I have showed an stunning lack of empathy because I remember having a conversation with Neil saying, like, of course, while I have a lot of sympathy for the, I mean, I'm not an asshole, right? While I have a lot of sympathy for a transgender community, in the big scheme of things, right, this seems to affect a very small percentage of population. Now, when you think about it in hindsight, it's an incredibly horrible thing to say because your empathy doesn't need to be limited, right? It's not like आपके पास 100 points of empathy है जिसमें से आपको 70 मुसलमानों में बांटने हैं, 25 औरतों में बांटने हैं और 5 transgenders में बांटने हैं, right? So that is an error I made by diminishing the क्या बोलते हैं the severity of this issue because the population being affected was not that much. Now that is a learning I'm going to take forward, realizing that it's wrong, and obviously determining to do better. So if any one of you have made the same mistake that I had, right, कि भाई कितनों को अफेक्ट करता है तो बाकी चीजों से शायद कम सीरियस होगा, ये गलती मैं फिर से नहीं करूंगा और कोशिश करूंगा कि ना करूं. आप भी कोशिश कर लो, राइट? इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लेसन फॉर मी एंड learn it from my story rather than making it your story, right? दूसरा पॉइंट क्या था कि सोशियो क्वेयर, like I'm very, like, your story is both a little like it's both uplifting and both saddening, right? So I'm glad that you are actually able to have a reasonably fulfilled life and frankly probably a better life than many regular Indians do because of your privilege, right? But the only thing that I felt bad about your story, right, is that the support you got from the trans community should have come from your family. And that is tragic that it did not. So I am fortunate that had I been trans, my family would have supported me. I hope everyone gets such a family. That's the bare minimum we can expect. And the other thing which is क्या बोलते हैं कि दूसरी छोटी सी बात है जो इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इम्पोर्टेंट है कि even if you are a right-wing conservative, right? I doubt any right-wing conservative is in this space or listening to this space, but if there is, and if they think about it, right? Hinduism is supposed to be trans-friendly. It's supposed to be better than Christianity, at least in theology, right? You brag about it, right? Hindus brag about it, right? कि वो अर्धनारी नटेश्वर, whatever nonsense that they talk about. अगर आप brag करते हो ना, तो learn to live it. Like you have to show it in your lived experiences, in the decisions that you make. You absolutely have to show it. Otherwise, you are no different from the Abrahamic religions. I'm sorry. Right. And the final point I wanted to make is the trans issue, right? As with almost every issue, and I'm sorry to make this a broad umbrella, we'll stick to the trans rights bill going forward, is when you think about it, right? A lot of things that are going wrong in our country can eventually be traced back to religious conservatism. So when your country or society and government is in the grip of almost psychotic religious conservatism that we have seen in India in the last 8-10 years, right? Eventually, every demographic is going to be a victim. आज ट्रांस लोगों की बारी है, कल औरतों की बारी है. हर औरत को ये याद रखना पड़ेगा कि भाई पहले दे केम फॉर द मुस्लिम्स, तुम कुछ नहीं बोले. नाउ दे आर कमिंग फ्रॉम ट्रांस पीपल, तुम कुछ नहीं बोले. भाई कल वो औरतों के लिए आएंगे, फाइनली तुम्हारे लिए आएंगे. That is how religious conservatism and fascism works. जितनी जल्दी हम समझ जाए ना, हम सबके लिए अच्छा है. If you are not the victim today, you will be a victim tomorrow. Unless you are me or Neil. But that's 5% of the population. You are most certainly in the remaining 95%. Almost all of you. Mera ho gaya. Thanks for listening. Teresa, and then we'll go to Neil.
Hi, my name is Swecha. Just saying, I haven't really got into. I hope I'm audible, but I am sitting here in CU right now, Hyderabad Central University, as we just got done with a transgender visibility day sort of a thing. I'm only going to talk. After Kali speaking, I've realized how many of our personal stories have to come out. I'm going to talk as a trans man coming out when I am 34, I guess, publicly. When you're born a female, right, you're already restricted by society. In fact, the 1871 Criminal Tribes Act that Kali was talking about was, again, Amit Behra ji ka point ko bhi, I will collate along with this. It is like Hindus have theological superiority when it comes to transness, because transness has been part of Hinduism in itself. And our theology is much better than Christianity in acceptance. In 1871, Britishers started this Criminal Tribes Act to start demonizing people that cannot be taxed. And then came the 1919 Eunuchs Act. And when it comes to trans men, somewhere along the line of being born female, that marginalization along with being trans, I think it doubles and triples. Therefore, even if there is, so let's say there's like already, people keep saying there's less than 1% of trans people in the country, right? Even in that less than 1% trans people, I don't know how much representation is of that lived lives of trans men. I always knew my gender was off. I knew something was wrong. But I grew up like Kali was saying, you know, we from privileged places, we have to recognize our privilege. I grew up with activists, right? So gender was always non-conforming. Mummy bhi activist thi, Papa bhi activist the. Sab saath mein kaam kar rahe hain. So I didn't really know how to place dysphoria. In fact, when I gave birth in 2017, a lot of it I thought was postpartum depression, but it was actually dysphoria, which I've realized later on. Only when I made friends with the queer community, when I was 31, I came out as a lesbian first, and then as I became assimilated or part of this community is when I started realizing, oh, I'm trans. There's words for the discomfort I'm facing. Now, how many people born female are allowed to even go out of the house, let alone go to that place where they explore what their gender is? This is something that I would like everybody to think about, especially when it comes to trans men or gender non-conforming people, because them coming out in it's compared to everybody else. So till like last year when I was coming out in close circles, I was like, ha, chalega, my queer community is there. Government recognizes me. I was born in an artist family. Kuch bhi hoga, I can settle it in court. Now I don't have that. There is no gender queer word. I can moonlight I could moonlight as a genderqueer person despite being a trans man because I'm scared of my trans and how it will be taken if I am also the mother of a child, 9-year-old child. Now, how do you think will society will consider me? Will they accept my transness man? This is a complicated topic, I understand. But if you recognize me as a person, it's going to get so much more complicated. Now, what is going to happen to people? Are we going to be put in jail saying that we are coercing the kids? Because at some point, my kid is going. These are some things that I sit with every day as these past 18 days have been going on. And it is really important to understand for the common man or for the cishet people listening to show camaraderie through these times. We keep telling amongst our queer community to buddy up. This is the past 18 days everywhere I meet people and we take calls. But chances, especially in today's time, the government has taken our definition away. And when it comes to social cultural communities, according to what the Act has said, this is a very important point, right? They are recognizing socio-cultural communities that are Brahminical and patriarchal in nature. I'm just putting it there as an individual, that these are Brahminical and patriarchal in nature, and other socio-cultural communities are not there. Like right now, I am sitting in the car of my chosen family while taking this in between a protest. Queer communities, trans communities thrive on chosen families. They must be also recognized as social cultural communities then. So I also think that in these spaces of discussions, more opportunities. Thanks to Neil for coordinating all this. I also wish like more trans voices are given space to talk. Um, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Do that. The only reason I
Sorry. Guys, I'm trying to fix it. Give me a second. Give me a second. This is, X is very annoying.
Svecha said that they have a kid, and now all of us
Yeah.
are still
Now,
aware
better?
to some
Better?
extent. And when Svecha said that my kid will grow with the trans culture, what it essentially means is that the kid would be aware that trans people exist. But हमारी rest of the society ना इतना over imagine कर लेती है कि if they would have heard this statement, अभी तक तो they would have been like, oh my god, बच्चे को क्या हो जाएगा? And all this dramatization starts. So for that thing, I want to just clarify a few things. जब हम sexuality की बात करते हैं, gay, lesbian, bisexual, so on and so forth, in sexual orientations and identities की बात करते हैं, simply having the identity doesn't make you a predator. It simply means you like somebody. And the example I generally लड़का है, लड़की है, whatever. That's all, right? That's how gender people with sexual orientations other than heterosexuality also work. Other than people who are straight, उनका भी उतना ही है. अगर कोई अच्छा लगा तो लगा, बस खत्म. उतना ही बात है. They had a crush, or they like someone, or they want to spend the rest of their life partnered with someone. That's it. That's what getting exposed to the LGB community is. Ki you are aware that sexualities are fluid. That's now, when you say you are exposed to trans culture, what that means is that you know gender is a construct. At the end of the day, क्या हमारा सॉफ्टवेयर डाउनलोड हुआ था बॉडी में कि अगर लड़का है तो वो फुटबॉल खेलेगा, ब्लू कलर पसंद करेगा, बाल छोटे रखेगा, उसके बाद शॉर्ट्स पहनेगा, रात भर घूमेगा, फिर बाइक में घूमेगा, फिर लड़कियों को ईवटीज करेगा? ऐसा कोई सॉफ्टवेयर था क्या? नहीं ना. सिमिलरली इफ इट्स अ गर्ल, ऐसा कोई भगवान ने सॉफ्टवेयर किया है क्या कि घर से बाहर निकलना नहीं है, शाम होते ही घर के अंदर आ जाना है, पीरियड्स हो तो तुम अछूत हो, तुमको कोई छूना नहीं चाहिए, एंड यू शुड नॉट बी लाउड एट ऑल, यू शुड बी सॉफ्ट स्वीट लिटिल गर्ल हु लिसन्स टू एवरीबडी. No, right? These are not natural things. These are social constructs that is a result of the way we interact in society. These are social constructs. And what would it mean if you are exposed to the trans community? It would mean that you have the confidence to see these constructs for what they are. It would mean
So, as
that
a
you have the
parent, I would like to add on this. Kali, you're absolutely right. It's My kid knew trans women since she was 6 months old. Like, trans women were part of the house, although I myself didn't know I was queer or trans. And you're absolutely right that social construct is what it is. Because I see other kids and my kids' reaction being different. Like, my kid sees a trans woman, she runs up and says hi because she knows it's just like another person. But other kids do treat that awareness also should come from parents and other cishet people. I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, essentially that, because even when I was growing up, I was told stay away from trans people, but because they will kidnap you. And to all the people, 2,000, 3,000, or 5,000 people that I've met all my life, I would like to ask them, do you think, firstly, I have the capacity to kidnap you, honey? And forget capacity. Do you think I even have the intent? I have been fighting for all of our rights, whether it be trans or cis, in all the spaces I've been at. तो ये ना थोड़ा हम कहानियां बना के उसको प्रोपोगेट करे जा रहे हैं, एंड इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट दैट वी स्टॉप इट. एंड any child who is
This is a live
exposed to the trans
discussion
community or
about the trans
transgender people will
community that is held
only
up
learn
at
इतना
Aapka Radio.
कि देखो यार, ये जेंडर वेंडर ना सब मोह माया है. आपको आपका जो लाइफ में गोल है अचीव करो, एज लॉन्ग एज यू ट्रीट पीपल वेल, एज लॉन्ग एज योर वैल्यूज आर इंटैक्ट, दैट्स गुड इनफ. So that is what you learn when you're with the LGBT community. The world loves to sensationalize it, and clearly that is what we are seeing in the bill as well. What we are seeing in the bill is ये जो social myths है, social stigmas है, them getting put in legal code, them getting put in law statements, that getting codified. ये ना हम डर को कोडिफाई कर रहे हैं, मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन को कोडिफाई कर रहे हैं हम. इवन इफ वी हैव टू डिपेंड ऑन साइंस, हम साइंस को मिसकोट करके कोडिफाई करके बोल रहे हैं कि अब ये सच है. सो एनीवेज, आई जस्ट वांटेड टू जस्ट पॉइंट आउट दैट कि देखो, आप ना डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. अगर आपको इतना डर लग रहा है, बात कर लीजिए, सब सेट हो जाएगा, आपको खुद ही समझ आ जाएगा क्या हो रहा है. थैंक यू.
Couple of quick points and then we'll go to Neil. See, if you are ever at a risk of being kidnapped by a trans person or a religious person, right? You better fucking hope it's a trans person, right? Because no one will abuse you more than religious people. The whole oppression of trans people all over the world is predicated on religious people. Never ever forget that. So everyone who tells me कि भाई religion बुरे नहीं होते, religious लोग बुरे होते हैं, भाई ऐसे होता है, sorry to be crude, गाड़ में डालो तुम्हारा religion. Religions बुरे होते हैं. Never ever forget that. मुसलमान बुरे नहीं होते, इस्लाम बुरा है. क्रिश्चियन बुरे नहीं होते, क्रिश्चियनिटी बुरा है. और हिंदू बुरे नहीं होते, हिंदुइज्म बुरा है. और ये लोग इसलिए बुरे हैं क्योंकि इनके मजहब बुरे हैं. ये ना फालतू की चाटना बंद कर दो इनकी कि भाई अल्ले भाई रिलीजन तो बुरे नहीं होते, लोग तो अच्छे होते. फक इट. कीप योर किड्स अवे फ्रॉम रिलीजन. If you keep your kids away from religion, they will not oppress trans people. They will not oppress women. So sorry, ये मेरा पेट पर, मुझे इस पे जाना नहीं है. And the other thing here is, right, okay, like Socio repeatedly pointed out, and this is for all of us to teach everyone we know. The क्या बोलते हैं, the fundamental principle on which every good society is built, religious or not, is live and let live. a person's right to practice his religion is no more or less sacred than a person's right to practice his or own sexuality. जब तुम खुद को सेक्युलर देश बोलते हो ना कि भाई हमारे देश में हर मजहब को इक्वली फॉलो करने का हक है जो होना चाहिए, तो you owe it to your trans community, to your gay community, to your lesbian community that you give them the same right to live their life their way. वो तुमको आके नहीं बोल रहे कि भाई तुम गे बन जाओ या तुम ट्रांस बन जाओ, वो तुमको सिर्फ ये बोल रहे हैं कि हमको हमारे तरीके से जीने दो. क्या प्रॉब्लम है भाई? You let people eat what they want, or you should. You let people pray to whoever they want, or you should. Why can you not let people be attracted to whoever they want, to live with whoever they want, to marry whoever they want? This is basic shit. Maybe someday we'll learn this basic shit. ना पहले नील के पास जाते हैं और फिर सोशे भाई के पास आएंगे.
Shit, my mic was off. But sorry, Amit, I honestly do aspire to have the level of humble that you are right now. See, I understand whatever you said at the time, but you said it to me in private, and you're apologizing in person, like in public, and that is something very commendable. It is very commendable that you went out and was like, hey, I was wrong. And that is something not everybody does. And it is absolutely amazing that you can stand here for who you are and so someone who is looked up to by a lot of people, and you can lead by example. It is absolutely wonderful, and thank you so much. Also, Kali and Swetcha, thank you so much for your kind words towards me, and also Sama, thank you so much for your kind words. And I just wanted to continue on what Kali had said. So what she mentioned here, it is not just something that is reflected within the society. It is also something that the MLA said during the impromptu meeting that happened. The lady who was sent by the MLA said, no, you trans people are kidnapping, you force conversions, you do force conversions. That's why this bill is there. To the community leaders. To the community. Imagine the amount of hatred the Ministry of Social Justice has towards trans people, towards non-binaries, towards trans men and trans women. This was a bill to make them illegal by force. And earlier it was mentioned by Amit that, oh, just because you're not trans doesn't mean you're safe. I can tell you very nicely and very calmly here, the trans bill, the way it was put forward, the way it was presented and passed, and how fast it was passed, this seems like a blueprint on how much can they actually push before something breaks in the system. So tomorrow, this same blueprint, and because this has now law, this can be used as a blueprint for other laws. This can be extended to differentiate in between different castes, different classes, different sects of Hindus, different sects of Muslims, different sects of anyone. All it requires is one bad law to start a chain reaction of bad laws. So if you're here and if you want to secure your rights in the future, irrespective of whether you're trans or not, fight for the cause. Come out, join the protest. This is as much about you as it is for a trans individual or an NB or trans woman, trans man, whoever it might be. That's all. You can go ahead, Kali.
Neil, I have a question. I have a question here. Consider me very immature. Okay, just I wanted to ask one thing. While amending this bill or drafting this bill, did they consulted any trans community group or experts?
No, not one. They said, and I quote, I'm just quoting their words now. We did not require the need to consult anybody, because we know better. This is their quote. That's it. So they did not consult anybody.
Switcha, you're saying something? Go ahead.
Yeah, just based on what Amit was saying, if I don't have the right to exist, where can we go on? Who I can be with? Amit, in solidarity with whatever you are saying, I understand. Like, I think on a global level, like India is looking towards, like, I don't know. I'm very scared of saying the word 377. It feels very scary. So living with somebody else, that is sexuality, but gender is what I am, and even that is being denied. Unfortunately, I don't know, I'm speaking in a public forum for the first time like this, and it's exist at this moment.
स्विच आप बता पाएंगे क्या कि क्या चेंजेस हुआ है लाइक मेडिकल वेरिफिकेशन इज वन ऑफ द की पॉइंट्स वेयर changes had happened
So
from
okay,
2019 to 2020. Yeah.
so from what I know, I'm just going to give a clarification. Basically, previously I only have community knowledge, okay? Previously also, psychiatrist used to give gender dysphoria certificate, then magistrate ke samne present karna, and things like that. But now what they are trying to introduce is a medical board, which will be completely breaking client-patient confidentiality. Because why will I have to tell like 10 other people, and on what basis, right? Because medically, if you see, there is no basis you can say somebody is trans or no. Like biological कोई marker नहीं रहता है trans होने का. It's a lot about psychology, our mind also. We are sentient beings. That's why we are having this podcast or discussions or resistance, right? So that is another very interesting thing to know about this bill, or which has now become an act, is biologically. If like, the reason why I'm trans is because I was not born in the gender I would wish to present in. मेरा sex female था birth पे, now I'm a man. I feel like a man. I'm dealing with the problem of being a man, and I'm feeling with the suffering every day. And you're telling me get a biological marker. Where will I get from? इसलिए तो मैं trans हूँ. So I understand like what you asked me was about the medical thing, but I think Kali will be able to answer that better.
Just include one more question while answering this question. What if somebody misuse information? Like it is anyways you can say it is goes negative towards the transgender community, right? If someone is misusing it.
Okay, to that I would like to answer. How many people will have the balls, let me ask, to come out as trans? Because to come out as trans is like to give up on a lot of things. I work in a cushy media job, but even I'm scared for my life since the past 2 weeks because I came out as a trans man. So I know a lot of people keep asking us the same question. अरे यार, like some 30 to 40,000 trans ID cards ही हैं country में. हम लोग 1% से कम है. इतना भी नहीं scam हो पाएगा. Because if you are calling yourself trans and coming out, no, you'll have to face a lot of discrimination. I don't think that's a cushy place to be in. But Kali, please.
I'm sorry to interrupt. One quick
Go,
point
go.
about this. Just one quick point, bhai. Behen, I'm so sorry to be a dick. Will come right to you. See, every gender identity is misused, right? Let's accept that. Men misuse the gender identity of being a man. Women misuse the gender identity of being a woman. So even if we assume that the trans or the LGBTQ identity is misused, what fucking problem do you have with it? Like, isn't it proportionate to everything else? Like, just because they are trans, are you expecting 100% perfect behavior just because they are trans and not like normal people? That is psychopathic. You have to allow them the same level of mistakes, the same level of badness, the same level of problems. You have to hold them to the same standards you hold men and women. You cannot hold them to higher standards because they are different than you. That is the crux of treating people equally and basic human rights. Just because वो trans है, you can't expect them to be perfect. Because men aren't, women aren't, no one is. Okay, sorry to मतलब मेरे को सिर्फ वो point करना था. Kali, please go on and then we'll go to the others.
No problem. What you're saying is true. मतलब ये model minority is a bit of an over expectation that we have. I don't know why from the majorities or non-marginalized groups we don't have the expectation of being a model person, which is true. But I think I would also like to answer the previous question that was asked about misuse. ये I I understand why this question comes because if as a government, as a nation, as taxpayer of this country, we want to give some sort of support to anybody, हमें पिंच करेगा ना कि यार मेरी मेहनत कहीं फालतू में तो वेस्ट नहीं हो रही. But I also recognize this question comes from a assumption. Now, feel free to correct me, please. An assumption that it is easy to get a transgender ID. May I very brutally, bluntly break this assumption that it is not. मुझे अभी तक भी ट्रांस आईडी नहीं मिला है मेरे हाथ में एंड आई हैव बीन लिविंग ओपनली एज अ ट्रांस वुमन इन अ कॉर्पोरेट एंड रनिंग माय
Is
ओन
it
बिजनेस
hard to
एंड
get into a
डूइंग अदर वर्क सिंस
relationship
एट
or date
लीस्ट
if you identify as a
2
trans
and
man,
3
like from
fourths
the app,
quarters
from
of a
Tinder,
year,
if you're looking for a
almost 2
woman
years.
and it is as a trans
2
man,
साल
how
हो
many
गए हैं मुझे एंड मुझे
I have
अभी
never
तक भी मेरी
identified as
आईडी
a
नहीं
trans
मिली
man
है
and been on Tinder, but I'm
क्योंकि that is
assuming
how
it's like
slow
extremely hard
that
because there's a lot
process
of
is.
sexist people out there.
एंड लेट अस इवन अज्यूम चलो ठीक है ट्रांस आईडी मिलना शायद आसान है बट आप हेल्थ केयर की बात कर रहे हैं उसके लिए आपको चाहिए होता है जेंडर डिस्फोरिया का फाइनल कंक्लूजन बाय अ साइकियाट्रिस्ट. उसके लिए व्हाट डू यू हैव टू डू टू गेट दिस जीआईडी सर्टिफिकेट व्हिच सेज कि हाँ मुझे जेंडर डिस्फोरिया है एंड आई एम ट्रांस. इसके लिए at least some standard psychiatric practices that are followed in India and abroad. Again, feel free to fact check me. This is instinctive knowledge and knowledge from the community. You need at least 6 months to 1 year of counseling in front of a therapist where every time you are telling कि भाई तुम क्यों ट्रांस हो and I am explaining कि मैं क्यों ट्रांस हूँ मुझे क्या क्या फील होता है क्या नहीं होता है. Even if we forget the general practices, if we refer to diagnostic statistical manual 5, the latest one, which psychiatrists and psychologists use to refer to mental conditions, mental disorders, so on and so forth. It very clearly says that anybody who is having gender dysphoria can be said so clinically only if for 6 months straight they show that there is an incongruence between their birth gender and the gender that they feel. आसान भाषा में 6 महीने तक आप हर हफ्ते या फिर हर दूसरे हफ्ते एक साइकियाट्रिस्ट के सामने बैठेंगे जो आपकी पूरी जन्म चित्र निकालेगा जो आपसे बार बार पूछेगा कि क्या तुम्हारा बॉडी खराब है क्या तुम्हारा माइंड खराब है क्या है तुम में खराबी एंड इट इज सैड that even after the amount of awareness that we have psychiatrists a lot of time approach this from a disease or disorder perspective. Now we have a few very few rare psychiatrists जिनको समझ है जिनको पता है कि हाँ भाई ये डिसऑर्डर नहीं बस एक वेरिएशन है बट काफी लोगों को नहीं है. तो अगर आपको अपने आप को डांस कंट्री में प्रूव करना भी है ना तो आपको कम से कम लगेगा आपको मेडिकल सर्टिफिकेट लेने के लिए 1 साल से 2 साल लगेगा आईडी आने के लिए. उसके बाद when we talk about government का budget for transgender welfare and कितना यूज होता है वो होता है 1% या 5%. The last thing that I remember where the government actually gave any support to a trans person was कोविड के टाइम पे 1,200 1,000 welfare उससे क्या standard first city in a restaurant for one person or two people. So we need to be aware that ये जब हम बोलते हैं कि मिसयूज होगा इट कम्स फ्रॉम अ स्लाइट अजम्पशन दैट फर्स्टली बहुत यूज करने के लिए हमारे पास प्रावधान है जो पहले बात नहीं है. दूसरी बात ये कि ये इजी है मेथड फास्ट है कि मैंने कल जाके बोल दिया मैं ट्रांस हूं और देश के गवर्नमेंट ने मेरे बैंक में 10 करोड़ डाल दिया. नहीं, it will take a lot of mental emotional, physical, and economic strain as well to actually get your trans ID, which a lot of transgender people do not have. So unless somebody is willing to put all this effort, misuse is negligible. Now, the reason why I had originally raised my hand was just to say that I think it was Amit who said that we need to support our people who have various sexualities, genders, so on and so forth. I can confirm to everybody in this panel right now that women feel the safest with gay men, lesbian women, transgender people because there is a certain solidarity that comes from having some sort of marginalization, whether it be gender, whether it be sexuality, whether it be caste, whatever it is. There is a shared experience of oppression that social structures throw at us, and that solidarity always shines brighter. When I meet any one of my cisgender girlfriends, हम लोग ये नहीं बात कर रहे होते कि तुमने ऑपरेशन कराया क्या, तुमने क्या किया, किसी ने तुमको कोवर्स किया है, नहीं, हम लोग बात कर रहे होते यार मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड ना बेवकूफ है, यार मेरा बॉयफ्रेंड तो एक से बढ़ के एक नालायक है, अरे यार इतना क्रश था मुझे तो पता क्या हो गया. These are the regular conversations we have. So it's really high time we actually engage with people to realize कि यार at the end of the day सब इंसान ही है. Well, those were my few things, but medical, yes. Even if you want your HRT, which is hormones for gender affirming hormone therapy, 6 महीने लग जाते हैं आपको एटलीस्ट साइकियाट्रिस्ट से आपका डिस्पोजल सर्टिफिकेट लेने में. अगर आपको कोई सर्जरी करानी है, एक और साल लग जाता है क्योंकि आपको फिर से उसी साइकियाट्रिस्ट के साथ बैठना पड़ता है. एंड देन सर्जरी होने के बाद भी अगर आपके पास कम्युनिटी सपोर्ट नहीं है, सर्जरी ऐसी छोटी सर्जरी थोड़ी ना है कि मतलब एक छोटा सा कट था, कट ठीक कर दिया. It's a very invasive procedure. So if you don't have support as well, medical transition is very hard, and most of the people won't even have money for it. So that is the transition. Those are my 2 cents. In case there's anything, please.
कल की आपकी आवाज कट रही थी. जस्ट FYI, I mean, you kind of got your gist, of course, which was great. By the way, I have a very good friend who recently transitioned, and if you heard his or her story, right, it would chill you to the bones, right? Because again, this is like we are talking a reasonably good case scenario. Fairly middle class, reasonably supportive family, पैसे का इतना कमती नहीं है, और उसकी स्टोरी अगर इतनी शॉकिंग है ना, so I'm telling her or him, I always get confused, her to write a book, because I think a lot of people, right? Sorry, सोचो भाई आपके पास भी आएंगे. A lot of people, including me, until I mean not recently but many years ago, we are not insensitive or we are not dicks because we are bad people, right? I can say this because I was one of those people many years ago. It's because we don't know better. So a lot of Indians, especially even in the West, बहुत लोग हैं, पर इंडिया में तो और भी बहुत लोग हैं. The reason they're transphobic is not because they're
Medical
bad people.
transitioning while
Is
depending on
they
family is
just
very
don't know
difficult, and
better.
leaving family
They
without government
haven't heard the
community directions is
stories.
also difficult. So
They
the government
haven't
left trans
heard the
people in the catch.
experiences.
Exactly,
They
that is
haven't
exactly
felt
the
that
point.
empathy.
Exactly the point.
So these stories need to get out.
Perfectly summarized.
These
Yes,
experiences
that
need
is so
to
true.
get out. Because most people are not bad people. They just don't know better. So we just need to inform them. We don't need to improve them. We just need to inform them. So this is really important, and this is important to all of us here. कि जो हमने सीखा है, राइट, ट्रांस राइट्स के बारे में, ट्रांस लाइफ के बारे में, फॉरगेट ट्रांस, इवन रेगुलर homosexual, gay, lesbian life के बारे में, talk about this with your family. Like, I can promise you, they don't hate these people, they just don't know better, and they learn, and hopefully they'll act better, right? And it's a collective responsibility. हम सबकी है. Or and like, talking about it shouldn't make us embarrassed or feel awkward, because embarrassment and awkwardness is a very small price to pay, right, for the rights of our friends. So anyway, सोचो भाई फिर
No,
नील
let
के
me go
पास
first,
जाएंगे.
Amit,
सोचो
because
भाई
the
go on.
question was there. I want to answer that in detail a bit. I'm sorry.
Was there a discussion on the misuse part, or that's over?
No. There is the discussion is going. Let me answer
क्या
that
क्या क्या
first.
nothing is over भाई, आपको जो मर्जी है बोलो.
I think there is usually a talk about misuse, and I think
Huh?
Mamit bhai
I
put
think
it
I'm not
very
audible,
well.
guys.
So glad that this is recorded space. I will listen to it again. भाई साहब जो ट्रांसजेंडर आइडेंटिटी जो अपनाता है,
Shit.
वो
I
एक
wasn't
बहुत ही
audible. No, I
रिस्क
was not
लेके वो
audible
कर
on
रहा है,
the space.
क्योंकि ऑलरेडी हमारे
Yeah.
समाज
So
में
see,
उसको
now I'm audible.
सोसाइटी उसको उसको नीचे नजर से देखती है. तो अगर ये मिसयूज का आर्गुमेंट लेना है तो कोई भी ऐसा नहीं करेगा कि अपने आप को रिस्क में डाले. जेन्युइन केस ही लोग अपने खुद अपनाती है. आई थिंक कोर्ट हैज मेड अ मिस्टेक हियर. दे शुड अलाउड सेल्फ आइडेंटिफिकेशन, मैं मानता हूँ.
Hi, am I
एक
audible
second. So
now?
let's go to Neil, who has been waiting for a while, and then we'll go back to Swechha. Okay, Neil, please.
Am I audible now? Okay.
भाई सुनाई नहीं दे रहा.
Oh shit. Hello. Am I audible
Neil,
now?
we can't hear you. So we'll wait until you get back. Until then, we'll hear from Swechha. Swechha, please go on.
Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. I know, guys, you can hear me. They can't
भाई
hear me.
आपका भी, I'm sorry, we can't hear you either. Something's off. I can't. Can others?
Can you hear me now?
Very barely. Something's still off.
Guys, let's just scream I'm Israel high, and let's see if that fixes it. Okay, let's check this out.
Can you hear me now?
A lot better. This is fine. This is good.
See, I can only talk to you as a trans man, right? When it comes to this medical transition
Tell Mike.
thingy, say
Lol.
sexual healthcare is not accessible to the average cishet man only. Let a trans man aside. I don't think it's very far taken away.
Elon is
I think it's a
burning the
very far
server
taken
right
away
now?
from
Yes, he is.
reality for a lot of us trans men also, because I think at least the older generation that I've met, a lot of us have realized we are trans after 25. It should be my fucking right to say I'm a trans man, right? And no government can tell me what I should do to my body and how I should be to prove to them what I am. So that's just something that I wanted to talk about in the context of medical procedures, especially because a lot of trans men are born women. They're treated as women. And as a woman, getting basic gynec healthcare is only too much, leave alone affirmative care as a trans man. It's a very complicated nuance, but I hope people will understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, right, no one does this for fun. I mean, I used to be one of those people who used to think के भाई कोई झूठ बोला तो किसको पता चलेगा, and then think about why would anyone do it, right? They won't. So like there's a staggering lack of both common sense and empathy in and the problem is our society broadly lacks common sense and empathy, as has been very clear for a very long time. So sadly this is not surprising, but it's still very wrong. So let's go to Anup and then we'll go to the others. Anup bhai, welcome brother.
Arey, thank you, Bhai. First of all, more power to all the people in the queer community. I identify as an ally. तो आप सबको जो भी जिस भी लेवल पे आप लड़ाई लड़ रहे हो, you have my full support. One of my close associates at work came out as a trans woman. They underwent their surgeries and all that. I saw their struggle from very close quarters. That kind of made me aware of a lot of things, and I am very proud to belong to a workplace which is a very trans friendly environment. To it also educates to be part of that kind of an environment, right? So there are forums where people can discuss very openly about it. Unfortunately, in India, I still believe that there is a lot of this, nudge, nudge, wink, wink kind of treatment to the people in the community, which is very, very disheartening. क्योंकि हम लोग आज we say that we've we've transcended all boundaries of development in some forums, and then it's the most human aspect where we fall short very, very very badly. Yeah. Whether it is like someone was saying about caste, like someone was like people don't treat physically handicapped people also with the same amount of respect that they deserve. It's always made about some sort of a bechara or this thing. It's never about rights. It's never about recognizing somebody's rights in situ or in however that person is. It doesn't mean that you have to feel bad for them or sad for them. You just have to recognize their right to exist, which is, I think, this we were talking about this on Neil Space last week, that it's always made to be, you're always putting guilt in people, and that's why you get these kind of half-assed attempts to kind of make amends, but nobody really goes the full distance. Even if you look at the attempts made to address the shortfall of infrastructure for helping the handicapped people, it's either bare minimal effort put in there, or it is literally like
Guys.
just for the namesake they've just
Okay.
put it
See,
out
okay,
there.
I can speak now.
So I think even in the trans
So
rights
this is
thing,
going on
they've
for
put
a
the
while,
wrong
so
kind
give
of
it a
people
moment,
in
okay?
charge for the whole discussion. The people
We are
who
still
are kind
waiting
of putting
for
together
the MLA to show up.
the framework that we're going to make available for people
Jesus Christ with
who are
MLAs.
transitioning. Is it they are not aware, or they are trying to kind of pander to the wrong section of society. That the kind somebody made a very cogent point that they are the kind of playing to the fears in people's minds that they've held for a long time. So that needs to kind of be wiped off first. So I just wanted to kind of come here and voice that concern. Ki bhai, stop putting fear and stop feeling bad for people. Start respecting their right to exist and their right to freedoms. Uh, ये जो even in case of somebody was mentioning that
Entire government needs to be wiped out. Yes,
the
no, I
healthcare aspect
completely
of it is
agree.
such like we were talking about that in the
But
space
not in the
also,
way that you're thinking.
that recognition
You
of
need to change the government. Yes, yes, fuck the
the
BJP.
missing
You need to
recognition of
replace
sex
it.
workers as a profession has
Don't get me
led to
banned,
so
please,
many
Willow.
problems.
I swear. This
They
is
undergo a
such a
lot of
silent stream.
assault cases. They
I'm
have
gonna
a
keep
lot of
talking over people at this point
STIs
now, to be
which
very
they
honest
can't
with you.
get treated for. They don't get
नहीं होना मेरे
they
से.
don't get any kind of assistance from the government
This is the
for
longest
that matter.
I've
Anything or
been without
everything
speaking.
has to be done by some NGO or some
And like X spaces
grassroots
are always
movement
like,
somewhere.
oh,
It's not like a all encompassing framework that exists to help them out. So ये थोड़ा like it's not disenfranchising them from votes, but the basic human rights are being taken away from them. तो उसके लिए कुछ agar like there are voices being raised, I definitely want to pitch in and help with the raising of voices in
is
support of
someone
the community.
gatekeeping the VC,
So
not letting you speak?
please
Yes,
consider
no,
me an ally.
that is literally
Thank you.
my microphone.
So,
That is
आगे
literally
जाने
my
से पहले, right? I
microphone.
would just like to, and please don't take this as me being a dick, but I kind of am, right? always frame this in the context
Like-
that we are a society that thinks cow piss is holy, right?
My microphone is barely
So,
connecting now.
like
to
all of
X.
this, while shocking and terrible, shouldn't be that surprising. Now, and it's up to us to change it. May take time, will take time, but inshallah, bilkul karenge. Neil, please go on, and
Am I audible now?
then we'll go to. Yes, you are. Yes, you
Perfect.
are. Welcome back, brother.
Thank you,
So,
thank you.
आपके बाद स्वेच्छा के पास जाएंगे और
Yeah.
फिर समा एंड सोचो के पास.
Sure.
है
I'm
ना?
going to
Go
be
on, Neil.
very straight about this. Sama is here, right? Okay, perfect. You asked 2 questions, and I wanted to answer that very directly. So there are 5 points of certification, quote unquote. Nobody knows if they are together or separately they need from the medical board. One is your psychiatrist, which was already present. The second is your medical board. The third is genetic, gonadal, and chromosomal, and enzymatic or hormonal. All of this is absolute bullshit. Pardon my French, but it's absolute trash. It's a trash heap on a trash heap. The reason why is that, first of all, the transgender identity is not just about genetics. It is not just about your chromosomal values. It's not just about your hormonal levels. It is not just about psychiatric. Like, they are treating it like it's a disease. Like, you need a medical certification for this, you need a psychologist. It is not a disease. Trans people are just trans people. Normal, complete ass fucking people. They are no special. Like, for the longest time within Indian communities, and I was listening to a lot of speeches by a lot of MPs, they were like, oh, Kinnar Samaj is like the blessing of the blessing. First of all, a minority within the minority, Kinnar Samaj. Second of all, they are not a blessing. It's not mythical to be trans. Trans people are just normal fucking people. Other than that, let's getting to the next point of this. We do not know if all of these tests are required together or individually, or one or the other will be okay. Which means all of these things are extremely also expensive. One of the most expensive tests is chromosomal and enzymatic. I do that in my lab. They're extremely fucking expensive. No normal person is going to be afforded. Forget a trans person whose entire life, because of socio-political issues, goes in poverty. Forget that. Anyone who's even rich enough to be a middle class or higher middle class is not going to be afforded to afford all of these. These are 50 to 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupee tests. And then you have to send these tests to the medical board and the district councillor or magistrate or what, district magistrate. And then they have to coordinate and decide if you are trans or not. It is fucking shit. And coming to the point of misuse, it is horrendous to even suggest that someone would misuse being trans, because please go try it. I tell everyone, if anyone here is wondering how much is there to misuse being trans, please go try it. I understand Kali and Swechha are very nice about this and very good about this, but I am fucking pissed, so I'm not going to hold bars. Please go try it. Please be trans for a day. A day. See how much harassment you face. See how much side eyes you face. How many times you're accused of trying to kidnap a kid. There was a case where a trans woman saved a child from getting hit by a car. She saved the kid, and then she was accused of kidnapping because she was trans. This happened in broad daylight, by the way. Broad fucking daylight. So go try being trans. Good for you. You will have first-hand experience on what it feels like being trans. Go, please. No one fucking misuses being trans. It is already fucking hard for trans people to get a certificate. It is not as easy. And I'm sorry for the comparison. We see a lot of Brahmins and UC Brahmins making fake certificates for like Dalit reservation and all of that shit. We see like ISI cases multiple times where like the person is not a Dalit, has made a fake certificate. This is also, by the way, true for our dear Prime Minister. The Prime Minister identified as a Brahmin until he got into office. Then somehow his certificate came in like his degree. Please go check. That So even if you make a fake trans certificate, which is already very hard, you have to live as that trans person as well, right? And tell me one thing: if you're making a fake certificate or something, so you're basically saying I am going to suffer far more negatives in my life, far more negatives in my life, just for a benefit that is not even provided. Let's not forget, trans people don't get reservation right now. Then even if you would have wanted that, they
ओए
do not.
भाई सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू भाई तू लंबा चौड़ा भाषण पे लिया नॉट दैट यू आर रॉन्ग बट द पॉइंट इज अगेन आई विल कम बैक टू द मेन पॉइंट trans people are allowed to be criminals.
No,
They're
yeah, no,
allowed
that
to be
is not my
shit.
point. Amit,
Right?
that is not
Let's
my
not
point.
forget. So why are you putting the onus of perfection on them? Even if trans people commit crimes, right? Even if they do the things that all these nalla jandus are saying they do, so what? Don't men do it?
Maybe I
Don't women do
misunderstood
it?
the question, because as I understood, how
So,
is like someone who's a normal person is misusing the trans identity to get
oh, no,
reservation?
that's my point. Sorry to interrupt. That's my point. So what if they are?
No, I'm saying
So
the
what?
question is stupid, because that's never happening because of all of these barriers.
No,
Because
that's
trans
bullshit.
people are
I'm
not
sure that
provided
happens,
anything.
right?
They
No,
are not
that's not
provided
the point,
reservation.
right?
The best thing you can do as a trans person before this is somehow, with
No,
extreme
hold
difficulty,
on.
get treatment into
No,
gender
no. So
conforming
here's
therapy.
so let's take the American example, right? The famous American example. Okay, bhai, you identify as trans or you identify as a woman, like you're a man, and you get to peep into a woman's restroom. इंडिया में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है बिकॉज एज अ मैन आई डोंट गो इनटू अ मैन रेस्टरूम बिकॉज मेरे को बदबू आती है सो इंडिया में वो इश्यू ही नहीं है तो इंडिया की बात नहीं करते अपन अमेरिका की बात करते हैं राइट सो लेट्स टेक द वर्स्ट केस अमेरिकन एग्जांपल राइट व्हिच इज फ्रैंकली नॉनसेंस राइट बट लेट्स एज्यूम इट्स ट्रू राइट के भाई देयर इज अ ट्रांस पर्सन right? Or there's a person who claims to be trans and are not really trans, goes into a woman's bathroom and like at the minimum peeps at women or at the maximum does some level of sexual harassment. Let for 1 second assume that is true. It hasn't really been proven even once. Even if it's true, so what? Do men not commit crimes? Do women not commit crimes? So again, same question. Why are trans people being held to a higher standard? Just because they are trans. So why are we so committed to proving that to khud bol raha na, they are just like everyone else. So let's assume they commit crimes like everyone else.
I'm
so
assuming that they commit crimes, but the question wasn't that. It was the misuse of the trans identity.
I mean, theoretically, it can happen though, right?
Like misusing the trans identity. Like, see, Amit, I think there's a misunderstanding
So,
within what a trans identity means here.
There is data. Hold on.
Yeah.
Neil, there is a data available in the social media platform that out of 32,000 certificates, 2,000 were withheld, or you can say pending right now because there is no clarity into it. Okay, so I'm coming up from those scenarios, like what if such things will happen, because we need to consider all the scenarios. So take an example, if bill were to be withdrawn, take an example, okay, or significantly amended by the government, what specific changes would you propose to balance self-identification rights then?
Can you please repeat the question, because your voice was cut?
No, hold on. Sorry to interrupt. Sama, that's not the point of discussion. See, it's very simple. India is a very backward country. I'm sorry to be blunt. तुम लोगों का IQ 50 है. तुम्हारी ट्रांस राइट पे डिसाइड करने की औकात नहीं है. You just aren't qualified. So just copy the West. So everything America is doing, right? Everything
No, don't
Canada
copy the
is
West,
doing
please, after Roe v.
with
Wade.
respect to what? No, forget Canada, भाई. Roe v. Wade छोड़ दे. Canada ले ले, Europe ले ले, Germany ले ले, Australia ले ले, right? भाई उनको कॉपी करो ना. तुम्हारी हैसियत नहीं है ये सब तय करने की. So if Canada allows self-identification as a gender, you should too, because you are fucking dumb. तुम्हारी दो पैसे की अक्ल नहीं, खुद को समझते क्या हो तुम लोग? भाई कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन उनका चोरी किया है, लॉज उनके चोरी किए है, ड्राइविंग सेंस उनका चोरी किया है, गार्ड में जो पेनिसिलिन लेते हो ना उनसे लिया हुआ है। अगर वो नहीं होते ना 40 साल की उम्र के पास जीते नहीं
See,
तुम लोग। और अकड़
God is
देखो
very,
तुम
our
भोसड़ी वालों की,
constitution may
क्या
be too
यहाँ तुम्हारा
forward,
हिंदुत्व आ जाता है
but
और कल्चर आता है।
execution
जस्ट
of laws
फकिंग
is
फॉलो व्हाइट
different than
पीपल,
actually laws.
you will not go wrong. Look at what Germans are doing, look at what Scandinavians are doing, and just do that. You will be 100 times better off than the shit show you're doing in your own country. उतना तो करो पहले, बाद में
Neil, what
आगे
is
का सोच लो।
happening? No, Amit is
Like,
screaming.
why
Let
are
him
you,
scream.
जो दिमाग है
It will
नहीं तुम
finish.
लोगों का, खर्चा
It's
क्यों
okay.
कर रहे हो? Just copy
This is
the
app space. Like,
West. They are
what
more
do you
civilized
expect?
than you are. Because no
Also,
one
he's the
can be
co-host,
less.
so
Pakistan is better. तो तुमसे कम civilized तो
I can just do this. By the way, it's not a problem.
कॉपी करो। अगर पूरा सिविलाइज्ड वर्ल्ड, जिन लोगों ने तुम्हारी
He
जिंदगी 40
likes
से
to take
80 कर
over
दी,
the space.
जिन लोगों ने
I
तुमको
want to
डेमोक्रेसी
continue.
सिखाया, जिन लोगों ने तुमको वुमेन्स राइट सिखाया, जिन लोगों ने तुम्हारी सती प्रथा एंड कर दी, जिन लोगों ने तुमको बंदरों से इंसान बनाया,
No,
right?
just when I was taken
अगर
aback.
वो कुछ
Okay.
कर रहे हैं ना तो बेशर्मी से वो करो।
We are
अपनी
literally
औकात
talking
में भी
about
मत
like
बोलना।
trans rights and
Might I interrupt once? This
Sorry.
is just
Yeah.
to no problem, please. Your
Even I would
opinion.
like to interrupt once
me too.
Yeah, I
because
just
it feels like a lot of, sorry for
yeah,
putting it this way, a lot of cis people are talking about whether we are criminals or not.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's
Fair
what
enough.
it feels like.
Fair enough.
So I would like Kali to take up this question because she's been raising her hand for a long time. I'm sorry for interrupting like this, but we trans people are having to make space like
His
this.
are
Just listen to
like
Kali
he
once on
takes over
this. Thank
spaces
you.
quite a
Sorry
bit. Like
again.
no. Thank you so much, Richa. No, the reason I wanted to interrupt is because I felt like the question that Sama was asking and the tangent we went on to were
no,
polar
no.
apart. And I would like
Pakistan
to
doesn't have
answer
better trans
Sama's
rights.
question in terms of the numbers. Because, well, ठीक है, you know what? Let us for a moment assume all the best case and worst case scenarios. It is fair. If we are going to make political
He's
decisions,
Indian racist
administrative
against Indians.
decisions,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Forget
Even though
about
it is
all of
very
that.
hard, disheartening to do it, let's do it. Sama, since we are bringing up numbers that 30,000 IDs were issued, out of which 2,000 were withheld, I would also like to inform that in the census, 4 lakh transgender people were counted, which is a undercounted one. It's not even the right figure. That's the first point. Because I want us to understand the scale of these numbers. It is nice to bring up numbers, but we must bring up numbers with the right scale, with the right requirement and parameter. Now, again, please feel free to say that I'm overreaching when I use the word right, but I just want to understand the scale of it. Firstly, that we have firstly undercounted transgender people. The second thing I want to bring to all
तुम
of your
लोगों को
attention
बंदर से
is
इंसान बना दिया.
that ये जो 2000 रुक गए हैं ना, मेरा भी तो रुका हुआ है और मैं तो आप सबसे बात कर रही हूँ. ये रुका इसलिए हुआ है क्योंकि sadly, even though according to NALSA judgment, according to Transgender Protection Act of 2019, process सीधा साधा दिख रहा है, सीधा साधा होता नहीं है. My ID, now again this is internal information. I would ideally would have loved not to share this here, but because we are talking about realities and different possibilities, I would like to. मेरा सर्टिफिकेट बाय द वे आ चुका है, मेरे हाथ में नहीं आया है, डीएम के ऑफिस पे पड़ा है. बिकॉज एंड ये इंफॉर्मेशन मुझे दी भी नहीं गई थी. Only because I had someone who was working closely with the office of the district magistrate, with multiple offices of the police commissioner, so on and so forth, have I even had the privilege of knowing कि ओ मेरा आईडी आ चुका है, ये लोग बस रिलीज नहीं कर रहे हैं. एंड व्हाट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इज जब ट्रांस आईडीज के लिए हम अप्लाई करते हैं, कोई सीधा साधा नहीं कर पाता है अप्लाई. ये जैसा कि आई थिंक इट वाज नील और अमित और आई एम नॉट श्योर हु सेड इट, आई एम सॉरी, बट ये प्रॉब्लम ये है कि एनजीओस करवाते हैं ये. हम लोग पुलिस कमिश्नर्स के सामने बैठ बैठ के घंटे घंटे उनके अपॉइंटमेंट्स वेट करके, फिर डीएम के सामने बैठ बैठ के घंटे अपॉइंटमेंट्स वेट करके, फिर लॉयर्स के सामने बैठ के घंटे अपॉइंटमेंट्स वेट करके, मुश्किल से साल में शायद 1 या 2 कैंप कराते हैं, where we are trying to bridge all of these
Guys,
various verticals together in
get
order to
worried
get
on
this
Amit
card,
screaming. He
which will
screams
anyways again take
meaningfully.
6 more months, but
Like,
at least all the
nice. Like,
stakeholders who are
not like
deciding factors
nicely,
in
but
the
like
card
he
coming to
has
me
good
as a trans
intentions,
person
let's say.
are
It's
brought
just
together.
Twitter screaming,
ये
don't worry.
NGOs कर रहे हैं. And of course, all of us understand how bureaucracy works, right? The process becomes the punishment. And that has been the case forever. So now, while I would not like to assume, given my experience and given the experience of the thousands of trans people that I meet on a daily basis, the 2000 IDs that have been halted have not necessarily been halted क्योंकि प्रूफ नहीं है कि ये लोग ट्रांस है. क्योंकि अगर आप एप्लीकेशन खोलेंगे, एप्लीकेशन में कुछ नहीं पूछा जाता है. एप्लीकेशन में बस आपको एक एफिडेविट दिखाना होता है, जिस एफिडेविट के लिए आप एक लॉयर से बात करेंगे, एंड देयर इज अ प्रोसेस टू इट. But as we were also speaking, there is no certain biological determinant to say कि ये तुम trans हो या नहीं हो. It's a very psychological thing, and even if it's biologically determinant, it's not one factor based. So it is very much possible that ये जो 2000 IDs are simply stuck because the DM office hasn't released it. Neither has my district magistrate office released it. So I'd just like to bring that to attention because I completely agree with what Samaya is trying to say. We should consider the fact that let us assume we fuck up. Sorry for the language, but let us assume trans people fuck up or want to misuse things. Fair. As a human, you have all shared. But I just want to also put in the bureaucratic angle, the ground reality angle to this, that most probably these 2000 things are waiting just because of that. Yes, and also, so sorry for saying this. With all due respect, I just wanted to understand how long are we going to have the conversation, and if there is any major agenda points, because as Swechha was also pointing out, जब से act बन चुका है, सुबह से crisis call ले रहे हैं. Swechha just was coming back from HCU. I went for another press conference in the morning, then went
Still
to
at
another.
HCU.
Oh, you're still at HCU, and I had to run back home to attend this. So, in case we have any other agenda points, or if we want to do this again, I would really, really love it. But if you think the discussion is satisfactorily done, I would humbly request that my presence be excused.
So just I wanted to add one thing, and then all of you conclude with your view that how now we can understand that BJP whatever they have drafted in the amendment bill is not that satisfactory. But there are other political parties like other than BJP, I must say, who are very much try to understand how they can help this transgender community to strengthen the policies so which supports equal rights. That is what I try to understand.
Swechha, would you like to take this, given that you have way
Yes.
more professional knowledge? Thank you.
The point of us coming out in resistance and in protest right now is that the policy is going against us. The one policy that we had based on the Nalsa judgment was the 2019 Act, which guaranteed transness, right? Transness is a spectrum that is first needs to be understood. All of the categories in that spectrum were given a space through the 2019 Act, which has been taken away right now. I think policy-wise, the only way policy-wise we can make a change is like take back this act.
Can anyone hear her? Hear him? Sorry. Hello, is it just me? Ugh, Jesus fucking Christ, you X. Gosh, shitty fucking thing. This is a waste of a life.
moment. Um, like Kali was saying, I'm just going to speak for a few minutes, then I'm going to listen because I'm with students of HCU as they are organizing something as part of whatever is happening. So, first things first, a lot of people have spoken about how we are talking about numbers and numbers game. India's population is around 147 crores, right? At this moment, from simple Google search, somebody just told me 147 crores. 0.6% से कम है ये लोग आपको क्या डैमेज ही कर सकते हैं especially because this criminal part, no, I've heard a lot of this shit going on. I'm sorry for my language, but I will call it absolute trash because ये 70 लाख लोग आपको क्या करेंगे 147 crore people are there, then you must ban all men. No, all major crimes are done by men majoritarily. So deny the existence of a man completely. That would be better. And I agree with Amit ji. Yes, all populations have traitors, all population have thieves, all population has things. But we are being defined by the socio-cultural communities that are taking us back to like pre-colonial era times, not pre-colonial era, because I think India was more fluid gender-wise and sexuality-wise before the British colonization. What we are all seeing is part of imitating the West. I'm sorry, I differ with imitating the West because in India, whenever you say copy the West, it means copying the United States of America. Right now, trans rights are being taken away by the USA. And during these times, it is very, very important for us to understand, especially because West does not mean much to a lot of Indians. So just copying the West will not do, yeah, because
Jesus Christ, this is not working. I think I'm gonna end the live here. We can discuss this later on, I guess.
was there. I myself can mark myself on a private app that is that I'm non-binary. At least that is there. Trans man to chal, not there only. Now, if you take out the identification, I don't know about the rise of criminals, but there's the death of the common person. Common person again, because we keep gendering man, woman again, common person. And that's very sad because criminalization, let's say general facts in any society, out of 100%, 5% is criminal activity. You are telling me that 147 lakh people, like 1% is 147 lakh people, okay? Now, if I divide that by half, because we are around 0.6%, we are 70, 80 lakh people. Out of that, calculate 5%, it is 3.5 lakh people that might be predictably, according to statistics, criminals. I think it's a argument that people have to start looking at it from that point because the more people ask us, the more I have been thinking about it, and this is one of the best ways to look at it. And at this point, I would also like people who are listening who wanted to ask us questions to ask questions so that Kali and I can take lead because we are actively organizing. And like Kali was saying, it is a moment of active crisis. And we are getting crisis calls 24 hours a day. So please understand our situation.
Anupji, you have any questions? Before my
I
first.
had only one that I think Sama asked the same question. How is how I know that you're doing all BJP definitely has an agenda to push, but what about the opposition? Is it just still a very grassroots and a very fragmented? I know that the community may be organized against the act, but what about having a more organized, a more uh, concerted pushback from multiple corners, because this is like we've seen in the past, it's going to be a hard fight, right? Pushing back on anything that is reached a act level is going to be very difficult. So uh, what what do you see, how is that fight going to pan out? If you could put some light on that, because there are people here who have not me per se, but there are people on this space listening in who can probably help connect the dots. Uh, so please shed some light on that. And I see a lot of hats, so I'll cut my this thing here.
Because I asked for questions, I'm just going to take a turn to answer that. So, political parties, oppositions especially, have clearly opposed in the Lok Sabha, right? My personal problem was where are the fish parliament Lok Sabha? Like it used to be called a fish market because people used to bang on the gavel of the chairperson and say, no, 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 you cannot make this law passable. Oppositions were strong like that before. Unfortunately, in today's times, we do not have a strong opposition like that. Although Rahul Gandhi, his sister, and a bunch of other Congress people have given like support, have shown outright support and have come out against it, it's been really difficult to get the majority vote because BJP has clearly all the majority. So this is a problem. And based on that, I also think like it's not just about opposition wise, right? Somebody was talking to me yesterday, some professor from somewhere, and it's a very interesting observation. हम लोग को ना इतना मार्जिनलाइज ग्रुप्स में डिवाइड कर दिया है कि हम लोग अपने अपने बॉक्स में रह के वही बॉक्स की लड़ाई कर रहे हैं. Now, let me talk about the trans community. You are saying the trans community is less than, like, let's say 70 lakhs, according to this rough call that I made based on a basic Google search just now. Now, what about the DBA community? What about all the other marginalized sections? Only if we come together like that, will we able to stop these kind of acts, because this is not the first act that's been passed on. Okay, so many land rights acts have been passed on since 2019. So marginalized voices must come together. There is no other choice, because the opposition also needs people behind it. Right now, people themselves are voting for BJP, and that is a problem. So yeah, the opposition has supported us. In fact, even Tamil Nadu government has gone ahead and given its statement. I'm pretty sure the Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, again, TDP has rejected approved of the bill from Andhra Pradesh. From Telangana, Congress has approved of things for trans people, and they have, because they are party, they themselves denied the bill, but since the center has passed it, the center has passed it. Now you must also remember that there is something called the state list and the concurrent list. In one of them, states can make independent laws, but the other you cannot, and this falls under that. So states can focus on welfare policies, and this is my request to all cishet friends in places of privileges. Please come out and start working for welfare policies, because irrespective of recognition, there is welfare schemes that state governments can roll out. I think mostly national level also, we will bring this discussion up. I will personally bring this discussion up, but that's something that we can focus on legally.
If no one is, I'm gonna go. Hey, if no one is going, I'm gonna go. If I'm still audible, maybe I'm not audible again. Am I audible here?
No, you are audible.
Okay. There's a few things I would also like to mention. So if a political party wants to do right by the community, just follow the community. Just follow the community leaders. Just you have the ability and the decree to just go to the association. Just go to the association and talk to them directly. That's all there is required within this. They know more than anyone else. Another thing that's extremely important is social education. A lot of times we are making laws, as Vecha said. We make laws. Laws mean nothing without social education. You have to start ground up. You have to have textbooks talking about how important it is to, have trans people visibility right there. He has a child who knew what a trans person was at the age of 6. That is something that we need in life. Because a lot first opinions of a trans person within our community come at the age of teenage, and they're mostly negative because of our parents. That needs to be rectified. I remember we used to have books about like, oh, Hindu Muslim bhai bhai. That was done. So why not for trans people as well? If you are a political party that is working towards making sure trans people have the necessary rights, start working on the ground, start social educating, include trans rights within your narratives, that saying like we are supporting trans rights. Get like majority people on like the leaders basically who people listen to, saying like, hey, we support trans rights, we are with trans people within their fight, we will march with them, and just follow through. You don't need to be within the limelight as such. You can just be a follower. That is very well done. And through that, you can have your gains that if you want them. But be there. That is more important. You don't need to release a tweet one day before Lok Sabha happens and being like, no, we are against all of this. That doesn't mean shit. You have to be there. That is the point. Your activism and your care for trans individuals needs to be real, not just performative to getting yourself elected. And on that note, and this is a little bit tangential, but on that note, the reason why earlier used to have like a gavel and everything, and now we can bulldoze laws, is because of the anti-defection law. There's a literal law that makes parliament obsolete. Have a talk with who you're trying to support. Talk about them with this, because it needs to be repealed if you still want to maintain India as a democracy. This way, because of the anti-defection law, all of this Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha shit is completely pointless. Hope people realize it here. All that it matters at the end of the day is who has the bigger numbers and who are they voting for. Like the whole speeches are pointless. The voting itself is pointless. That's why the voice vote happens. All the votes are pre-decided. There is no changing of mind. There's no someone who can just come out and be like, no, actually, I do not support what my majority party is trying to erase trans rights. That never happens in India for a reason, because of the anti-defection law. I'm sorry, this was created by Rajiv Gandhi. He fucked over the Indian parliamentary system. It has been dead since 1986. Please have a look. If you also, again, I'll say this again. If you really want to be supportive of trans rights, talk to the leaders. Go to the marches. Be a active support, not just passive support like tweeting. Even this I wouldn't consider as too much support. We really were told that someone important is going to be here to actually speak on this issue. They haven't showed up. They're supposed to be a MLA candidate who's trans, but they have not shown up. And because they have not shown up, it really shows how much care is being provided here. And I am pissed. I'm sorry, I'm pissed. I've heard everyone's arguments, but I'm very fucking pissed. Anyway, that's it for me.
Think something.
This is the point. Okay. Systemic erasure is a thing. This is not the first protest I have been a part of. I've been actively a part of the Telangana protest and a lot of things that came after that. In the case of Telangana, it was merged in 1956. A lot of people do not know this. It was systematically erased from textbooks. The history of Telangana in itself was erased from textbooks. And when the Telangana movement was happening in its peak, the year that Telangana came, we had to sit down and make a documentary on the beginning of Telangana. Imagine this is a state that was made by independent India, and we did not have any literature left. The government is slowly trying to declassify and de-academicize. I do not know the proper word for it, but taking us out of these law structures, out of these academic structures, clearly erases us. From 1956, Nehru called Telangana a marriage with a convenience for divorce, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh's union and bringing them together as a state. This happened in 1956 and it took time till 2007, 2012, 13, 14 to get Telangana. So now with this act passing on, we are going back 50 years. And I would like people to remember systematic erasure. It's not just happening with the trans people, it's happening with the DBA folk, it's happening with the women. Welfare boards have been cut off, their spends have been cut off. And I would like to bring to your notice, because this is a public forum and we are speaking amongst ourselves, trans people. And since so many cishet people and people in places of power are here, I would like you all to take a look at systemic erasure for yourselves.
Okay, the space is extremely glitchy. Damn, we are
Kali,
watching
you wanted
Amit's
to
space. We're
speak.
really trying to get banned on Twitch here. No, we are. So, it's not the
No, I
point.
think I fairly agree with what Swechha is saying that yes, we need academia to have its independence. A lot of the reasons why we are having so many conversations, so many debate, is because inquiry, scientific inquiry, even as a matter of fact, is not getting taught in our schools and colleges as it should be, other than the few elite institutions that we have. So it is sad that we are having to re-educate, relearn how to inquire, relearn how to think to think. So yes, that is where I am at. And as far as future actions were asked about what can we do in the future, what Swechha said and what Neil said, that's essentially what we are trying to do. We are trying to
Michael,
see
it's
if we can
fine.
get
It's just
welfare
the issue.
schemes. We are
People are
trying
not listening.
to
This is an AAP
understand
space.
how can we
I
support our
came here
community without
knowing
being
that
called
this was going to
criminals
be annoying.
for supporting our community. And
Like
at
the
least
way they
for
spoke to
now,
me about the
while
issue in
we come
private,
up with
also,
a
it wasn't very
larger legal
nice.
strategy as to what needs
Like,
to be done,
I
which of
don't think
course
they
will
have an
take some
idea on
time
what to
because
do.
national level leaders and people
I'm just pissed.
need to be consulted. For now, all we are trying to do is crisis management because without taking names, every day we are hearing calls about somebody wanting to burn themselves, somebody wanting to unalive themselves. Sorry, I didn't give a trigger warning, and so on and so forth. So right now, I think the most immediate support we need is that of psychologists who are queer affirmative. We want you, we need you. Even if you do not understand queerness, as long as you can listen and ensure that a person lives, we want that. So if you are somebody like that, please reach out to us. If you're an academic who can create a lot of content around what can be done to simplify explanations, we would love that because we have been doing it since the last 2 3 weeks on our own, but it would really be nice to have more hands. If we have translators who are people who speak local languages. Now I can speak Telugu, but I can't read and write. So if we have people who are linguists, that would be something that will be really helpful. And I'm so sorry, this is not an exhaustive list, but this is just a list of things that are coming to my mind. And finally, yes, in case you have networks with MLAs, MPs, so on and so forth, or administrators, it would be really nice to talk to them so that if we can get a little time of theirs, I'm sure we can try to at least get empathy out of them. So that's all. And I think this is all I would like to say. And I'd like to just end by saying thank you so much. I'm so glad all of you, in spite of whatever opinions you had, took the time to actually understand, ask, and reflect on what is happening. It is a beautiful thing to see. In spite of whatever opinions we might have, whatever agreements or disagreements we might have, it is always nice to see when people actively engage in a discussion. So thank you to all of you for doing that. And yes, that's all.
Okay, I'll go now. Uh, Thank you, guys, everyone. I'm sitting here in Los Angeles. So this Aapka Radio space itself is showing our support to what this is, the trans rights bill. It's the initiative from Sama, who took the initiative to conduct a space. So we are hosting it on the Aapka Radio handle. So that itself is a to tell everyone that Aam Aadmi Party is in support of uh, transgenders as such. I guess I don't know. I mean, excuse me with my wordings. And also, it's good to hear folks from Telangana. I'm from Telangana too. So, uh, whatever every agitation or every
Just
movement,
make
it just
the
require few people coming
they have
together,
no idea what
few
they're talking about.
like-minded people coming together.
Just
So
feels like they were
that's
just
that's all
told
it
that,
takes.
like, hey, we have to show our
So
support.
whoever wants to, I
We are
mean,
doing this
we are
electorally for
strongly in
Anand.
support. I mean, it's very painful
Yeah, this
to
is painful. I know.
listen to all those stories.
Painful to listen
It's
to these
quite
people sometimes.
painful, I would say. And I just want to tell you that we are with you. We want to stand by you in everything that you are doing. Uh, Actually, I was trying to create a group immediately, so I was unable to add the folks uh, who are not my followers. So I just created a X group and try to add few of you. I mean, all of you guys, but those who are not following me, I'm unable to add you. So however, like we wanted to come together and work together. That's what I'm looking for. As I think Anup has mentioned that, right? I mean, what are we gonna do after this? Like, this is just a initial discussion that is helped us to come together and have a little bit of chat. So the next steps is what I'm looking for. And if you guys want to connect with me, I mean, you can directly message me on X, or maybe you can join the group that I've created. I think Sama and Amit Bhere, if you can, take everyone's contact and bring them all in one place. And I would like to get in touch with Teresa and Socio Queers. I guess you are Telugu speaking people, so I'd like to definitely get in touch with you. All right, guys, thank you so much.
The point before I quickly go, people have been asking how to take public action. I would like you all to start living political lives and care about what's coming in the news. As we were discussing this, somebody brought up to me that the first read on MITE's draft IT rules, Second Amendment 2026, is open for public consultation. Please start speaking up within your own spaces about these things. And government has given only 15 days, right? And from after 15 days, again, if this act passes, even this conversation might become illegal and considered a criminal activity. Anything and everything can be monitored. While we are fighting for trans rights, we also remember that however we are choosing to fight can also be criminalized by a rising draconian government. So, for all those people trying to take proactive action, start reading up the news on how legislation is happening within the country and start showing up to political parties' offices. AAP listens, Congress listens, go and show your support. Like, please rally people for us and yourselves.
Okay, I'm just gonna go because no one is. Before I leave as well, I was about to say the same thing as well.
ओए भाई मैंने हाथ खड़ा किया था पर तू अपनी बात खत्म कर. Sorry.
So I do this myself. I'm trying to do the same thing as Swishta said. I'm trying to get people involved in all of this. I have a small podcast if you want to check out by the same name, Papaksh, on YouTube and Twitch. Please do follow it if you can. On that note, also, seriously, this is extremely important. Please show up. Showing up is all it takes. No one is going to ask you for anything else. Just show your support. Please send the emails to your MP, MLA. No one's even asking you to come out on the road at this point. If you are worried that you are going to get the trans disease because you're next to a trans person but still want to kind of help, just send a goddamn email, guys. Just send a goddamn fucking email. That is all it requires. There's nothing else. Just contact your president. The emails are available. Like, hey, I am worried about the trans bill. This erases trans identity. Please fix now. Just write to anyone you can. And to any political aspirant here, any person within politics here who wants to do better with this, show up. Speak out loud. There's so many people just not talking at all. Just sending tweets is not going to help. Just having this space, to be fair, like this is an amazing conversation and thank you for this, but just this also not going to help. We need people with a like voice to speak out. The cameras need to be on somewhere. I can count like 2 or 3 people right now who are speaking out. We need far more. The government of India is not a democracy. I am sorry. The Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha are not places where anyone can get justice if you still believe it. We need people to rise up and move from there. And we need heavyweights to do it as well. Not just like I'm 700 follower person on Twitter kind of person trying to do it since day one. It's not going to help. I know my limits. We need to get into motion and start a fucking movement. Or it is not just trans individuals' rights. They're coming for your rights as well. Never fucking forget your AQI is still 1,000. Thank you.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
सिर्फ 2-3 छोटे पॉइंट करने थे. So, like Neil was saying, right?
Anyway, so I just left. I'm not dealing with this anymore. There's a lot of back and forth. I'm anyway pissed a lot. Jesus, I can't even hear it anymore. Fine, whatever. Don't care. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. That is all from me. Hopefully someone wisens up over there because apparently the MLA never showed up. And I just can't sometimes with these kind of spaces. Anyway, fine. It's like I've given up on political parties ever doing the right thing, I guess. My hope is still with you people. My hope is still with the people currently listening to me. How much ever you're. I haven't checked because I don't know who's listening right now. I don't know if you're still there or am I just speaking to myself. If you're listening later, fine, whatever. Spread the message. This movement is yours. This movement is mine. And its movement is everyone's. Not one person can define this movement better than you and me. So please show up. Please do the right thing. The lives of people are online. And the only people who can actually fix this are the people of India. If you are an Indian, please show up. Good night. I'll see you on Thursday. Shab Khair. Have a nice today.